Hi, welcome back guys. This is your friend, the Pika Fanfics. Back with amazing fanfiction. This is the series of What If Asta Noelle Were Married? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. It all starts as Noelle is being taken in by the Black Bulls. She thought she was a failure, but the others didn't see her the way her family did but saw her as part of their family. Asta, a person without a drop of magic, was accepted and not treated poorly due to his background and stature, but was part of the family as well. She was surprised but thought it wouldn't be so bad after all. There's the captain, Yami, who is strong and may surpass even the royals themselves. A girl with sort of food magic, she eats and produces a lot of food, and Noelle is shocked despite her size. She consumes all that food, charmy. There's this guy, Gauche, who gets a nosebleed watching a picture of a little girl to which she was told that it's his sister. So a sister complex, she thought, cringing at the fact. There's this womanizer with a terrible hairstyle, Finral, and he has spatial magic. That's a pretty useful magic, she thought. A guy with makeup, Gordon, who looks weird and creepy, plus it seems he's saying something but he can't hear him for the life of her. A woman who wears inappropriate clothing, too revealing for Noelle's taste, and she drinks a lot of alcohol, Vanessa. Isn't it dangerous to consume that much alcohol? Noelle thought, worried about the witch's health. A huge guy who blows smoke out of his mouth, Gray, and he has transformation magic apparently, and he changed into Asta. Two childish mages with fire and lighting magic, Magna and Luck. They behave and run around like little kids. She face-palmed while thinking, I'm basically in a squad of weirdos and freaks. Noelle thought when Asta spoke, taking out of her thoughts. You settling in yet, Noelle? He asked with food in his mouth. He started choking when Noelle handed him water as he downed it. Sort of, I'm analyzing them, and basically what I found out is they are all weird. And don't talk when you have food in your mouth. That's dangerous, she said, cautioning him as he apologized, laughing nervously. I'll agree with you on that. They're weird, but they also really fun. I mean, when I met them it was so chaotic. When I introduced myself they didn't notice me, Finral or Captain Yami, when we arrived back from the Magic Night entrance exam. He explained. Is that so? Why did you and Magna fought that night? She asked, raising a brow. Oh, he said it was some sort of ritual for new members. He threw his fireball at me and I used my sword to send it back at him. I thought he was gonna be mad, but he told me what I did was awesome and he handed me the robe. Asta explained, tugging at the Black Bull's robe. Also, Miss Vanessa added the logo to my headband. He said, pointing at his headband. It looks good on you, she said, complimenting him as he then thanked her. Also, sorry about before. When we met I said those mean things to you. I didn't mean those things, I was just in a bad state of mind at the time, she apologized, lowering her head. It's okay, I didn't take it to heart because I knew you weren't a bad person. I received those kind of insults all the time because I have no magic, but I ignore them because I have a goal and no one's gonna stop me from that, he said, raising his fist in excitement. What is your goal anyway? Noelle asked, curious about his goal. Well, I want to become the Wizard King and change the way the country treats people who don't have enough for themselves and help my village of Hage, he explained. The Wizard King? That's a difficult thing to achieve, are you sure? She asked. He nodded. Yeah, or else Yuno is gonna beat me to it first, but he won't because I'm gonna get there before him. Even though I don't have magic, I'm gonna achieve my dream my way and no one and nothing is gonna stop me, he said with a smile. Noelle smiled back and wishes him luck. Wait, who's Yuno? She asked, confused. He's an orphan like from Hage and he has powerful wind magic. He was amazing at the exams, he was so good, in fact, every captain wanted him and he chose the Golden Dawn, he explained. The Golden Dawn, that's the best magic squad. I see why he chose them. It's pretty much a big step into becoming a great magic knight, she said, stunned at the revelation, which Asta agreed. But I believe we can make a change here. As long as we work together as a team, we'll be right there with them at the top, he said, excited, but Noelle was quite sure. Think about it, Noelle, you have amazing and powerful magic. If you train and master it you can become very strong, maybe even stronger than Yuno. I believe we all can stronger than the rest of the magic knights and become the best, and we can't do it with a giving up mentality, he said, pumping his hand up then down. Noelle smiled at his enthusiasm but blushed at the compliment and praise she got from him. She looked away, folding her arms. Well, I am royalty after all. You know what, I've just figured out my own goal. I'm gonna become strong enough so that I will not need my family's approval and surpass my mother and become a great magic knight, she said, explained as she was pumped as well. Alright, you two, time for your first mission. Magna called out as Asta and Noelle were nervous about what kind of mission they were getting. Today you'll be hunting boar in the village of Saui. Magna said, smiling, leaving the two dumbfounded. Oh come on, that's stupid. Asta complained as Magna retorted, what's stupid about it, with Asta replying, he can take them down bare-handed. Don't underestimate boars. Magna warned, Yami got their attention explaining how they met this old guy and they promised him they'd do him a favor after taking their money while gambling. Humans are strong when they have responsibilities, plus he wanted to get rich fast to help his poor village, he said. Asta raised his hand. But sir, this has nothing to with us, he said as Noelle agreed, raising her hand. Yami glared at them saying they can either go or die as they got scared and said they'll go. Oh sweet, I'm getting pumped for this first mission of ours. Let's do our best, Noelle. Asta said with a thumbs up at her with a huge grin. Noelle turned away blushing. His smile is so cute and genuine. Wait, what am I saying, she thought. Have a problem, Miss Royal? Magna asked. Noelle turned to him but became uneasy. Well, since I can't control my magic, I wondered if it's alright for me to go. She voiced her worries, but Magna assured that as her senior, he'll cover her if she slips up and the missions will help with her control of the magic. Well, if you say so, I'll go, she said slowly. Getting excited as Asta giggled at her enthusiasm and praising Magna for his comment. Magna rubbed the back of his head as he appreciated the praise. Alright, we have a slight problem. Finral's magic can't get us there, so we'll have go by broom instead. Magna said, annoyed. I can't fly on brooms. Asta said with Noelle agreeing. Are you two kidding me? That's like the easiest thing to do, why can't you guys do it? Magna said, grabbing Asta's collar and shaking him as he responded saying he has no magic, while laughing while Noelle said that she can't control her magic. TCH, there's no helping it. I'll take you to my sweet ride. Magna said, opening the door to reveal his crazy cyclone. Asta was amazed by how cool it looked and complimented his ride, and Magna riled in the praise. Lemee. Noelle said, not impressed by the look of it. Oh come on Noelle, you gotta admit it looks cool. I mean, you could have one like that someday to fly around on. Asta said with puppy dog eyes. There's no way you'll catch me flying around with something like that, and besides I can just use a normal broom. Noelle said, turning away from his look because she'll blush again. The three hopped upon the ride. Asta was excited to go as Magna was kinda struggling to get it started. Are you okay? Noelle asked nonchalantly, but Magna yelled, a man never goes back on his word. As they flew up into the air, Asta was looking around in amazement at how everything looks from up there. Hey, fly a little better would you? Noelle said, complaining to him. Well, hold on if you don't want to fall off, and Asta, that goes for you as well. Magna said, warning them. Then Asta grabs Noelle's waist for support as she blushes. Asta, could you hold on to my shoulders instead please? She said, blushing and a little shy. Oh okay, sorry about that. Asta said, grabbing her shoulders as Magna picked up on a change in Noelle's attitude towards Asta. Time passed as they hunted the boars. A few things went wrong with Noelle still not able to control her magic, and she hit Asta instead of the boar. She apologized, but Asta didn't really mind and told her it's okay as he returned his assault on the boar. The trio have finally arrived at Saucy Village. Magna took notice that the village is covered in mist and found it strange. Asta pointed out that maybe the village has bad weather, but Noelle let him know it's magic, which surprised him. If we're going in there, we'll be going in blind due to this mist. Noelle noted. A magic spell that can cover a whole village. This is the work of someone outside the village. Magna thought. Magna turned to Asta, told him to cut the mist with his sword, which confused, and Asta told him a sword can't cut mist. Are you an idiot? Your sword can cut magic, remember? Magna said, reminding him. Oh right. Alright, take this. Asta shouted, swinging his multiple times at the mist, which began to clear up. They ran into the village and approached a sky filled with ice pikes above the villagers. The mist mage commenced his execution when Magna jumped in to save them all using flame magic, scattershot. The villagers looked towards, yelled in relief that the magic knights have arrived. Magna asked the little boy by an old man who died protecting them. Grandpa. You see, your prayer got answered, the kid said, crying as Magna recognized the old man. He remembered that this old man was the one he and Yami gambled with, and he got angry at how heartless the monsters that did this can be. Did you do this? Magna shouted, furious at the mist mage. The man was sitting on a concrete broken wall and proclaimed that Magna interrupted his schedule. In 3 seconds everyone will die, the man stated as he launched a giant ice ball spell at him. Magna stood his ground, but he couldn't counter since he ran out of magic. Asta jumped ahead, readying his sword at the attack, and sliced it in two, scattering in two halves, saving the villagers. You're going down. Asta proclaimed. Why would you do something so horrible to this people? Who the heck are you people? Asta shouted, demanding an answer from them. Magna began to think and noticed that they don't look like enemy spies out to thrash a village, but still couldn't put together the identity of these guys. We hadn't heard some magic knights were on their way, one of the mages stated as the other one chimed, thinking they were on an unofficial mission and wondered how they got through the mist. The Black Bulls, huh? A bunch of nobodies who don't fit in with the rest of the magic knights. 5 minutes, these worthless villagers don't know anything, we'll finish them off quickly and hunt for what we seek, the Mist Mage stated. Don't ignore me. Asta shouted, charging at the man with his sword as he attacked with mist magic, whirlpool of illusory mist covering Asta's vision in mist, but Asta cut through, erasing the mist. The Mist Mage noticed this and pointed out the fact his sword cut his ice attack earlier and can't figure out what magic is this. So his sword negates magic, we must not let him get close, the Mist Mage thought, cautious of Asta. Now I'll ask you again, why would you do this to these villagers? Asta shouted again, demanding an answer. This village lies in the Forsaken Realm where commoners reside. Most inhabitants of the Forsaken Realm are inferior because they can only petty magic. They're like animals who incapable of using tools. These dumb animals could rob me of my time, I was simply trying to clear them out beforehand. You have enough magic to enter the Magic Knights, right? You simply trying to save because it's your mission. Don't they look like animals to you? The man monologued, which Asta got agitated. He began to remember when he was little with Sister Lily, overhearing the other villagers talk about the people in the upper realms and how they have it good. He asked her why don't everyone move to the upper realm, which Sister Lily told him it's not that easy. Only people with powerful magic can live in the upper realm. There's a prejudice against commoners with weak magic even though we're human just like them, she explained with a sad smile. Then I'll enter the Magic Knights and become the Wizard King, then he'll get rid of the prejudice and make the village a much better place for everyone, he proclaimed, which brought a hopeful smile out of Yuno and Sister Lily, which Nash deadpanned. Asta raised his sword and announced, these people you disrespectfully called animals are my sworn duty to protect, you hear me? Humph, so you value them after all, the mage said, preparing his ice attacks. Come on, I'll knock those right back you. Asta replied as the other mages with the Ice Mage combine their magic and surround Asta, Magna and everyone else by their spell. Can you protect these animals under these conditions? I'm not partial to the word gradually, but this seems like the most efficient way. The mage said, launching the attacks as Asta sent them back with his sword. The man took note that Asta can repel magic attacks. You can't defeat that way though, I can create ice shards forever. Now go on, try to protect the. He said, send more at Asta. Asta sent them back as Magna joined in destroying the incoming shards. Magna panicked at the fact he and Asta are tied up protecting the villagers and his magic was also running low. This guys have 4 magic users on their side at Magic Knight level and this one hasn't really shown what he's really capable of. Magna thought, sweating. What a great mission, am I right guys? He said, smiling. He launched more attacks. It may seem this way but a real man never gives up, it just so happens that I'm a commoner but I'll protect you, he said, destroying more shards coming at the villagers. Just then a water ball was thrown at the mages but it didn't reach but flopped to the side. I see that one of you can't control their magic, the Black Bulls must be really desperate for members. He said, insulting her as she looked down at her failure. If you abandon them, you'll survive. The mage said. I don't get it, I'm a royal and I have the strongest magic here but I'm holding them back, she thought, disappointed in herself. Retreat, Noelle. Magna ordered. What's the point in me being here, she thought as remembered the mage's earlier comment about abandoning the villagers for survival. That's right, I'm a royal, I must not die in a place like this. I should run and dash. Before she continued, a little girl crying pulled at her skirt. Miss Magic Knight, please save us please, the little girl begged as Noelle grit her teeth in determination. What am I doing? This little girl is asking for help. I can't run away. She thought, activating a new spell stunning the villagers and catching the attention of the Ice Mage. Water creation magic, Sea Dragon's Lair. I'm royalty and a member of the Black Bulls, it is my duty to protect these people, she yelled as the shards weren't getting through. Magna smiled at Noelle's new spell and praised her for this new achievement. The Ice Mage couldn't believe the amount of magic power he was witnessing and sensing. Taking this opportunity, Asta jumped out, charging at him. I've got no magic but I'm still gonna take you out? Asta yelled as his sword strike landed straight at the Ice Mage. Asta's attack landed on the Ice Mage, causing spit out blood, which made his followers call out his name, worried about him. Noelle asked if he got him as Heath smirked, making Asta look down. He used to make me skid and killed my momentum. Your sword may be able to negate magic but you might as well be a normal human, he said as Asta grit his teeth in frustration. Heath used the opportunity to launch ice magic, heavenly ice fang, into Asta's abdomen, sending him up and down into the ground, making spit out blood from the hit. Asta! Noelle yelled his name, worried about his safety. Sleep there for eternity. Heath said, wiping the blood from his mouth, and walked towards to the defensive spell Noelle made. That's some tremendously powerful magic, however. I'll be able to make an entrance into it for myself. Heath said, freezing the barrier to create a path to the villagers, Noelle and Magna. It's been about 25 seconds, you people just like stealing my time and that's going to cost you, he said as they continued to freeze the barrier. Magna became worried and nervous because he was running low on mana, but he knew he had to fight. Fire and ice, I've got the elemental advantage here, but it doesn't matter if his magic is stronger than mine. I guess I've fought the wrong guy. Sorry Captain Yami, I can y-dash. His thoughts were interrupted when he heard someone. I'm not done yet. Asta shouted as prepared to swing his sword at Heath, but he told Asta he's too slow and hit again with a heavenly ice fang, sending back again, but Asta regained his footing and charged back at Heath. I'm impressed that you're alive. You're very durable, but with those injuries you can't swing your sword very well. Heath said, impressed with Asta, as he sent another ice at Asta, telling him to stay down. Noelle grew more worried and begged for someone to save him in her thoughts. Asta stood up again, bloodied. I'm not done yet, he said, as Magna was stunned and shook by Asta's resolve, and it made flashback to the time the villagers from his home praised him and told him they proud he made it into the Magic Knights. Getting into the Magic Knights, for a peasant born in the Forsaken Realm, that's miracle by itself. But now you've hit your limit. Don't you think you've done enough, Asta? Magna thought, irritated, as Heath was telling Asta to give up. Heh, if I give up now, who would protect them? I realized now it's not only to keep a promise. I'm gonna become the Wizard King in order to protect everyone. Asta said, determined, making Magna. Noelle wide-eyed, then smiled as she remembered the oath she and Asta made. Magna shuddered at this proclamation. I knew you were crazy before, but now I know for sure it wasn't all talk. Noelle said, smiling, as Magna stood up and punched himself, making Noelle dumbfounded at his action. You're a real man, Asta. Magna said, grinning. This magic, I can just walk out from the inside, right? Magna asked, as Noelle responded, yes. Take of the villagers. Magna ordered as he stepped outside. The Wizard King, what a ridiculous dream. You're about to die before achieve this absurd dream. Heath said, as Magna interrupted him, like I'd let you kill him, you bstrd. If you're gonna kill someone today, you better start with his superior, and that's me. Magna swing of the Black Bulls. Magna shouted as prepared himself for battle. Asta and Heath's attention were drawn to Magna's speech, and Heath asked him if he wants to die that badly. Bring it on, let's do this, Asta. I'm sure you remember your baptism, right? Magna said, as Asta wondered what he meant by that. Magna drew his hand, which had a fireball building from it, as prepared an attack. Alright, eat this? Magna shouted, launching flame magic, prison death. Scattershot at Heath, but he blocked a few which were on the mark with his ice shards. What a waste of a final attack, he said, but didn't realize what the point of the real attack. It's not a waste. Asta yelled with sword in hand, then it deflected the attacks back at Heath and his followers, taking them by surprise as they hit them all. Magna opened his eyes and realized he surrounded a barrier which protected him from the shards. You better thank me for that. Noelle said proudly, but in her head she jumping for joy at her magic control. With Heath, who is still being engulfed by the flames and they won't go out, so he begins to freeze it, but Asta jumps up at him, raising his sword. I'm not done yet, my body can still move. Asta said, as Heath begged him to wait, but Asta denied his request, swinging his sword down full force onto Heath's shoulder, covered by the ice, shattering it and damaging him. How can this be? How could be defeated by a boy like him? I wanted to be more of use to the master. Heath said, as blood spewed from his mouth as he fell to the ground defeated. Noelle was in awe. You did it, Asta? Noelle cheered as the flames on Heath began to form a bind on him. Courtesy of my flame magic, prison death scattershot, flame magic, flame bench formation, he said, proud of his work. You're more clever than I thought, even though you look dumb. Noelle said with an Aranai face, and Magna retorted he's still her superior. One of the mages activated a spell to escape in the nick of time as Magna cursed out that he got away. Noelle told him his follow is terrible as her water barrier fell apart, causing all who inside to get wet, as Magna laughed and asked what was she saying about follow through. Noelle blushed from embarrassment. Head out, haha, well, what do you know, a peasant one. I did it, yah. Asta yelled a cry of victory as he fell unconscious, and Magna ran to his aid and realized he was sleeping. Noelle let out a sigh of relief. Thank goodness he's okay. How can be so reckless like that? He's so stupid, obnoxious, and a peasant, but he's amazing. Maybe I can learn from this in order to control my magic better. Asta, you're not a hopeless fool after all, she thought, smiling and blushing. Wait, I'm falling for him now? She put her hands on her face, hiding her blush. Magna turned his attention to the enemies he bonded and wondered what they after and why go through all this to get it. We'll make them talk later. Right now we have to relax and recover and call for backup, he thought. While Asta in unconscious, a bird appeared out of Asta's robe and flew up, looked over to a church, then flew towards into the window and landed near a rock. The villagers approached the sleeping Asta and commented on his performance and asked if he really is a commoner like them. The bird came back with what looks like rock in its mouth, and one of the villagers recognized the type of bird it was. Is that a swallow bird? They asked. The bird started to repeatedly peck Asta in the back of his head with the rock, waking up Asta, who screamed in pain. As he stood up the bird flew back. Wait, I remember, you were at the exams, you're an anti-bird. Did you really come all the way out here to make a fool of me? He asked when he noticed the bird had a rock in its mouth. He tried to get the rock from the bird to give it back to the villagers because he thought it belonged to them, but they told him he can keep the rock and that it was the village chief's protective charm, then proclaimed as their saviors. Asta smiled and thanked them for their praise. You're tough, kid, one villagers commented as Asta responded saying he trains hard. Noelle's attention was drawn by the bird on Asta's head. Just look at those spiteful eyes, how adorable, she thought in awe of the bird as she approached Asta and told the bird that she can come with her. Time passed until Heath and his followers woke up. Magna called out to him, I'm gonna rest up a little more and as soon as my magic is back, I'm taking you in. You're gonna pay for the crimes you committed for the rest of your lives, he said, point at him. Heath looked down and realized his magic has been sealed. The magic knights are gonna make you talk and you're gonna tell them who you are and what you're after, everything you know will be found out. Magna said as Heath responded that they won't be finding out anything from them. Magna noticed Heath beginning to light up and realizing this was the work of a magic item inside of him. Heath activated ice magic, ice burial, killing him and the two remaining followers with him, causing the trio look on in horror. They self-destructed. Magna pointed out and wondered how loyal someone must be do that for their boss. You idiots, what do they think life is? I'm not accepting guys like that. Asta said, disappointed in their actions. The mage who escaped reported their mission back to their boss. I see, so Heath did that, and the black bulls have the magic stone. The boss commented, standing in front of a wall with symbols with magic stones similar to the one the bird had. The boss wasn't fazed at the fact the black bulls had the magic and thought they're not threats to their plans as he announced the resurrection is at hand as a logo of the Golden Dawn could be seen. Back at the village, a little girl was telling Nick, the little boy who was crying when the old man died protecting the village, they should go home as he heard screaming at someone running. Asta was running away from the bird who was pecking repeatedly and Noelle was chasing him to get close to the bird. They stopped. What did my head do to you, stupid bird? Asta said, trying to prevent the bird from pecking him more. Noelle chimed in, listen to me, I'm telling you, I wouldn't mind playing with him, she said. The little girl got their attention and she told them about Nick. The villagers told me about your grandpa, they said he was the only one who stood up to those guys. Asta said they praised the old man saying he was awesome for doing that. A few days ago Grandpa told me something, he looked really happy, he began as his head was still buried in his knees. He just beat some magic knights at gambling but still he would have loved to be a magic knight and he regrets it every day. He said he should have worked harder when he was younger. Nick said as he stood up and turned to Asta asking can he become a magic knight like them. Asta smiled, sure you can, I'm a peasant and I don't have magic and I got in, you just gotta work very hard because by the time you get there, I'll be working even harder, doing more and getting closer to my goal at becoming the Wizard King. Asta encouraged him and fist bumped Nick's chest. And we'll be right there waiting for you. Asta said as Noelle nodded in agreement. The moment was ruined when the swallowbird started up its onslaught on Asta's head again, making him annoyed. Maybe it's doing that because you talk too big for short guy dork sta. Noelle said, giggling at him as he replied who's dork sta as Nick joined in the laughter. You guys had a rough time out there but still great job, you idiots. Yami said, congratulating the trio on their mission. Yes sir. Magna and Asta shouted in thanks of his praise. Vanessa approached them to say, the Magic Investigation Department is investigating what the criminals left behind but they have gotten any important info out of it, she explained. As for the watch which he left, it is valuable and considering that and how they acted, they might be extremists or dissidents from the noble realm, she continued to explain as Yami chimed saying it doesn't matter. He then showed them a star. In recognition of your actions, the Wizard King has awarded us a star, he said, smiling as Magna and Asta were surprised. The 9 Magic Knight groups compete to see how many stars they can collect and it's an honor thing. The Golden Dawn is at the top with 70. Vanessa explained as Yami placed the star on the board. Great, that makes us have -30. Yami said as Asta was in disbelief at how far behind they are. Oh yeah, Captain Yami, you should have seen Noelle out there, she has a new spell and it's powerful enough to protect all the villagers those BSTRDS were trying to hurt. Asta said, giving the recognition she deserves as she blushed in embarrassment. Is that so? I would like to know what's the new spell like, but that's for another day. Here are your wages for the month. Yami said, looking at Noelle then handing them their money. Asta was in shock at the fact he got paid while Noelle wasn't impressed with the amount. Noelle, aren't you excited this is enough to buy 2,000 nomatatos? Asta said in shock she was a bit chill about her pay. She asked what was nomatatos as Asta said it's a potato from Hage and it tastes good and little weird. From what you're saying it sounds awful. Noelle with an Aranai face. No they aren't, Sister Lily makes anything taste good. Asta retorted, smiling as Noelle's eyes squinted as she asked who was she. Oh, Sister Lily is someone very special to me at the church and took care of me when I was little. One day I'm gonna ask to marry me, he said with stars in his eyes. Asta, nuns can't marry, you know that, right? She said with little bitterness in her voice. Don't worry, when I become the Wizard King I'll make it work, Asta said with a fist pump in the air, with Noelle responding with a irritated humph. Vanessa congratulated on their first payday and suggested they should go shopping in the castle town. The trio are now flying into the common realm on Vanessa's broom. Asta was holding on to Noelle's waist. Hey Asta, please stop that. Hold on to my shoulders, okay? Noelle said, embarrassed, and Asta apologized, saying, I had to, Noelle, I don't want to fall off. Vanessa picked up on their interaction and giggled at how red Noelle's face is. Looks like someone has developed a lil crush. They arrived at Kika Castle in the common realm. Asta had stars in his eyes at how huge the place was. Asta looked around at the different foods and the magic items and weapons, then saw how expensive they were. Someday I'll bring sister and the kids from the church here, Asta thought with a smile. He ran off ahead of Noelle and Vanessa to explore as the people around began chatter about their robe, their squad, and they recognized Vanessa lush of a witch and that she's hot. They also noticed Noelle and said she's cute and noticed she was a black bull as well. There's a lot of chatter around. Noelle spoke up as Vanessa told her to not mind them and them being their Dieter's criminals. And besides, we might a guy or two, Vanessa said, giggling, but Noelle raised a brow and looked at some of the guys around and none of them were as cute as Asta. They trio approached an alleyway and Vanessa told them to follow her, but Noelle and Asta thought it was just a wall until Vanessa walked through and they followed behind immediately. We are now at the black market. It's a lil dangerous but it's filled some super effective stuff, Vanessa explained as she waved at one of the sellers to recognize her. Noelle was surprised that she's never heard of this place before. Are you surprised? I get you though, nobles and royals don't come here out of prejudice, Vanessa said, realizing that Noelle was unfamiliar with all this. By the way, you can't your magic, right? All you learned is for magic to stay in one place, Vanessa pointed out as Noelle nodded. They've got some items here, find one that helps with your magic control, Vanessa suggested as Noelle went to try some items. Asta noticed a bit of noise and chatter coming from a place behind some curtains. That's a casino. The two of you are a bit too young for that, I'm afraid. Amateurs need to take it easy or they'll bankrupt themselves. Vanessa and Noelle approached beside him, amused by the gambling. Alright, it's on, I'm gonna grow my check 100-fold today, Magna cried out, walking into the casino as Trio looked on in worry for his money. Asta went off to buy souvenir, leaving Noelle and Vanessa to look around. Just then Sek approached them after he was finished losing to an old lady in a cards game, making lose all his money. Well, what are you two doing in a place like this? Sek said, getting their attention. This is no place for lovely ladies like you. Have you gotten lost? Don't worry, I'm an elite magic knight, I'll escort you outside, he said, trying to look cool. Not impressed in the slightest by this, Noelle told him to get lost, which shocked him. Look at what I found, Asta called out to them as he has some sort of toy in his hand. Don't tell me you bought, Asta, Noelle said, Aranai. Asta noticed Sek. Hey, you're the Baha guy, Asta said as Sek retorted that his name is Sek. Asta, who is this idiot? Noelle asked nonchalant. He's someone I took the exams with, Asta responded to her question. Sek was irritated that two babes was with Asta of all people. Going gambling with the ladies even though you are peasant. Heh, if you got that much spare time, shouldn't you be doing some jobs and earning points? Sek said, smug. Noelle, annoyed by this guy at this point, was going to blast him with her magic to knock him out, but they heard a lady crying out that there is thief. The thief activated wind magic, bandits cloud wind as he fled. Asta heard the call and dashed off to help. Doing that in front of magic knights, he must be brave. Noelle pondered as Sek activated bronze creation magic, Sek shooting star with a haha. There's no way I'm gonna let you get all the glory, Asta, he thought as he turned to Noelle and Vanessa, winking at them, then blowing a kiss which creeped out the girls as they dodged his kiss. The thief didn't get far though as Asta was hot on his tail. I don't get it, he's running on foot and he's keeping up with me, the thief thought, astounded. Asta drew his sword from his grimoire and threw at the thief's cloud. The thief thought that he couldn't cut his magic when the sword his and went through the cloud, dispersing it. The thief fell off and Sek came in with shooting star, striking the thief, as Asta found him cool how he did that. Sek started to celebrate when the thief stabbed his foot with a magic item, paralysis item. Sek fell down screaming in pain. Are you okay, Baha guy? Asta asked, concerned. Am I dying? Come to think of it, I was aiming for the top two and I rather not entrust it to him, but... Sek thought, grabbing Asta by the robe. You're the one who took me down, you get the top spot. I'm entrusting my dream to you, Sek struggled to say. Asta karate chopped his head. Don't shove your important stuff at me, live and make your dream come true yourself and don't you dare give up, you idiot. Asta lectured as Sek was wide-eyed by this. Vanessa arrived and tended to his aid. There's no way you could die from this, it's just a temporary poison. I'll put some Shirkei ointment I just bought on it so it'll be fine in no time. Vanessa explained as Sek appeared dumbfounded. Sek left telling Asta to train harder until they meet again as Asta waved him goodbye smiling. Vanessa smiled at his toughness on the inside. Although he looks a kid, he has great wisdom. Asta turned to the old lady handing her money back and he was surprised she got this by gambling. She thanked the Magic Knight trio and they left waving her goodbye. Magic negation, huh? I've never seen such a magic before. I'm not if it's even magic at all, but that kid is pretty interesting. A voice coming from the old lady, magic started to surround her revealing that she was a man the whole time wearing a long red robe. This is why I explore around in disguise, the man said as a magic signal appeared in front of him. I finally found you. What are doing, Wizard King, sir? The person asked through the communication signal. Wandering around the tun looking for new magic, that's what, the Wizard King responded smiling. The man reminded the Wizard King what his position means, but the Wizard King interrupted explaining what it means: encounter new magic and knowing it can or can't do is interesting and I'll leave to search for new magic again. This is no time for your nonsense, sir, we have tea dash. The person was furious about this saying but the Wizard King interrupted again, it's an abnormal situation that's on our hands, am I right? Well, don't worry, I've found someone interesting, the Wizard King finished as the man on the call was confused beyond belief. The Golden Dawn's new recruit Yuno is flying now with his fellow Magpie Knights, Mimosa Vermilion from the royal family and Klaus Lunette's currently on their first mission. It is to escort the son of Hapshas, who serves in the House of Lords, to the Clover Kingdom ally, the Heart Kingdom. Klaus was talking the captain of the Golden Dawn about the mission Hapshas. Klaus told the captain that he's only negative remarks about Hapshas. I'm sure that he's worried that his son, who is going to study in the Heart Kingdom, might be attacked by bandits on the way, the captain explained. But there are many powerful mages among the Lord's family. Klaus responded, as the captain responded that his father feels having magic knights with his son will be safer. Lord Hapshas makes very generous donations to the Magic Knights every year, so it's rather hard to decline. So you object, the captain was saying, then asked as Klaus responded no. We need to accept every mission that will benefit the Clover Kingdom, the captain said, waking down the steps as Klaus knelt and bowed his head saying he's aware. Also take Mimosa with you, I'm sure with you along their mentor, there'll be more than enough. I'm counting on you to look after our new recruits, the captain finished saying. Back to the present, Klaus remembered that Selim de Hapshas lost to Yuno in the final of the Magic Knights entrance exam and being unable to join the Magic Knights. Selim was playing with hair smugly, but Klaus found it strange that Yuno was appointed his bodyguard. My first mission. I'm so nervous. Sir Klaus and Yuno, it's an honor to work with you both. Mimosa said as Yuno turned his to her and nodded. He's really handsome. Mimosa thought with little pink in her cheeks. Don't let your guard down, Mimosa. Klaus cautioned as she taken out of her thoughts and nodded. That goes for you too. Klaus turned to Yuno saying. I know. Yuno said, not looking at Klaus but in front of him as he's flying on his broom, as Klaus thought he was being insolent. Selim raised his hand, getting Yuno's attention, calling him over and asking how's he's been. Don't look so scary, I requested you as my bodyguard to apologize. Selim said as Yuno was looking at him with plain look. I hear that you intend to become the Wizard King. Selim pointed out, then Yuno asked, how do you know? You were chosen by all Magic Knight captains, you could have joined any squad and you chose the Golden Dawn, so I had a feeling. The more you achieve from now on, Yuno the one who possesses a 4-leaf clover grimoire. Selim said as Yuno turned his head away from Selim. Make sure you become the Wizard King, I'll be able to brag to my future kids that I once fought the Wizard King and they'll say, Daddy, you're so cool. Anyway, we've got time before we reach the Heart Kingdom, you wouldn't mind telling me about yourself? Selim suggested, then he asked. I'm from Hage village. Yuno responded, oh, I've heard of that place, it's located in the Forsaken Realm, is that right? I think that's where the legend of the first Wizard King who defeated demons comes from. Selim said. It's not just a legend, a giant demon skull is actually still there. Yuno said, causing Selim to be stunned. Apparently, I was found at the front of a church when I was a baby. I've never seen my parents and have no idea who they are. The church was very poor, but the father and sister took very good care of me. I'm grateful to them. Yuno explained. Klaus was noticing there are no issues so far, but then he thought there must be someone in Hapshas' family who can use transportation magic. TCH, how did we get stuck with this? Klaus thought, annoyed. Not only that, we're the only bodyguards, if there was really any threat there would be more bodyguards. There are still many unknowns with this mission. Mimosa noticed a black cloud in the sky as it got their attention. Mimosa was creeped out by them and Yuno told them he'll check them out as he flew up at the clouds. Klaus told him to wait but Yuno was too far. He turned to Mimosa telling her to stay on guard, then she nodded. Yuno is flying near the clouds and notices fire attacks coming from it at him. He dodged them all as 5 guys in hoods charged at him. Multiple fire magic attacks are launched at Yuno but he dodges them all. Yuno, protect the ship. Klaus ordered. I intend to. Yuno responded, as the one of the bandits throw a fireball but cancelled it out by throwing a wind attack at it. Another came from behind Yuno launching an ice shard at him which took Yuno off guard but he reacted in time to use tornado of wind to defend himself but the shard went through the tornado knocking Yuno off his broom. While free-falling Yuno regained his composure sending a white windhawk at one of the bandits and the rest soon followed. The black clouds cleared as Yuno's came to him as he landed on it and continued flying as if nothing happened. Mimosa was in awe of Yuno. He looked so cool while doing all that. ADN way he landed was magnificent, she thought blushing. Were those men after Salim? Klaus thought suspicious of the attack. They landed in the forest as Salim thanked Yuno for saving him. I didn't even get the opportunity to use lightning god rising Salim. I'm more interested in you now. I know, why don't you take me to your town? Salim asked as Yuno's head turned to the mention of his village. I want to see where you were born. I want to know where had to live to have grown so strong. Salim suggested but Klaus objected to this as they don't know what will happen along the way so it's best they head for the Heart Kingdom. Salim brushed him off. No matter who comes after me, you 3 will protect me, right? Salim asked turning his back to him. Well, yes of course, but for nobility to go to a peasant village in the Forsaken Realm. Klaus said but Salim responded it will be quick. I'm sure Yuno would like to see everyone back at his church, right? Salim asked, that is not your concern. Yuno sternly said. They were back in the air. As they flew past the demon skull this made Salim curious. It's quite big, and on the top of it is the statue of First Wizard King. I see. Where is this church? Salim asked. Yuno directed him to it. As they landed Sister Lily was outside with a basket of namatatos. Sister Lily noticed Yuno as she walks towards him. She calls him as she welcomes him back then he thanked her. You've grown up so much, she pointed out but Yuno denied that saying, it hasn't that long, only 2 months sister. Really? But your face has matured and you look more of an adult. She said as he smiled. What brings you here today? She asked. We're making a brief stop during our mission. Yuno said directing her attention his comrades and Salim. Klaus was disgusted that he is in the Forsaken Realm. Sister Lily approaches as she introduces herself to him. My name is Klaus Lunettes of the Golden Dawn led by my captain William Vengeance and I'm the mentor of the new recruits. Klaus said returning the introduction. Oh really, thanks for looking after Yuno, Sir Klaus. I've heard of you in Yuno's letters. She said smiling as Klaus was surprised. Turning his head to Yuno, he asked about the letters and what he wrote about him. Yuno just turned his head refusing to answer which Mimosa found to be cute. She steps forward introducing herself to Sister Lily. I've heard about you also Mimosa. Sister Lily said as Mimosa blushed in disbelief. Sister Lily noticed this as Mimosa turned to Yuno while smiling. What did you write about me Yuno-san? She asked but Yuno had his head turned again refusing to answer and she thought he was cute when he didn't show his feelings. My what a beauty. Salim commented approaching Sister Lily getting her attention. He went down on one knee introducing himself and background to her then he stood invading a personal space and finished his introduction. Sister Lily was not fond of this as she launched in the air with her water magic, Holy Fist of Love. He landed on his back in pain. She then apologized but Salim told her it's alright while holding his back. Father and the kids arrived then run towards Yuno. Yuno dodged Father's hug as the kids admired his robe. The little ones asked for Asta's whereabouts, as Sister Lily chimed in asking Yuno which he replied no. Father stood up crying asking, are you staying the night? You are right? Yuno hesitated on his answer but Klaus came in, unfortunately, we are just stopping by. We are in quite a hurry. The kids and Father responded with now we don't have to be in such a hurry, we can spend at least an hour. Salim said as Klaus was about to object. Father got excited and said he'll prepare Hage Village's special tato meals. Yuno stay for some food. That goes for all of you so please come in. Sister Lily said inviting them inside. Salim went inside. I've seen a tiny church like this, it's so cute. Is this where Yuno grew up? Mimosa asked curious as Father nodded. He and the rest of the kids along with Asta grew up and ate here and tiny? He explained then responded to her rude comment on the church. Is that so? Well if that's the case I can work something out with my family to help around here. Mimosa thought hopeful as she walked in as Father grit his teeth in annoyance. The kids pulled Yuno along inside while Klaus stood face-palming. Why must I enter a filthy church? Klaus asked himself, agitated, walking inside the church. So these are Hage's famous Tatos? Salim said as the group sat at the table with meals prepared for them. The golden trio sat opposite to Salim, but Mimosa unconsciously moved her chair close to Yuno, which he didn't notice. I'm not sure they will be to your liking, Lord Salim, but help yourself. Father said, then Salim took a bite in one of the dishes. They are so dry and flaky, I've had anything like this before. Salim commented as Sister Lily and Father looked worried, but their worries were to put rest when he said they are delicious. It would seem that you're a splendid cook, Sister Lily. Salim said, complimented as Sister Lily turned away embarrassed. It's not all that good, really, she responded, blushing. Please eat as much you like, that goes for the rest of you guys. Father chimed in, they nodded, turning to the food. Why must a noble eat such an unknown thing? Klaus thought as Mimosa took a bite. This makes me so thirsty. Mimosa, then she turned to Yuno. Is this the food he grew up on? She thought as she took a sip of water. Both Yuno and Asta sent us money from their first pay as magic knights, and then, we were able to buy enough Tatos to feed the children as much as they want every day. Father said. Couldn't you feed with anything else besides Tatos? Nash harshly commented, but Father told him to not to be picky, and look how big Yuno has gotten thanks to eating Tatos. Yuno, it's wonderful that you're sending money home when you're just a newcomer. Salim said, praising him as Yuno said, it's nothing. Sister Lily also thanks him, you helped us out a lot, and not just with Tatos, she said. We were to plug the hole in the floor. Rixa said as Nash joined in, saying, we even dug up a well in the yard. Aruru and Hollow also thanked him, as Yuno smiled, which made Mimosa blush and smile at it. He's really sweet, she thought. Sister Lily was eyeing this the whole time with a smile of enjoyment. Yuno turned his head back to Father Orsi. Asta's been sending money too. Right, he asked. Yes, to think he'd been do that is amazing. Father Orsi responded, as Yuno asked how much was Asta sending. Sister Lily approached him and leaned into his ear to tell him. Yuno gasped in surprise. He turned to her. Starting next month I'm sending all my pay, he said as Sister Lily was taken back. Really? You don't have to. We'll be fine for a while with the amount you sent us. I appreciate that though. Sister Lily said, waving her hands in front of her to retort. Yuno, however, wasn't deterred and said he'll send it as Sister Lily thanks him hesitantly. Klaus coughed, interrupting the moment. Lord Salim, we should be on our way. Klaus said, but Salim wasn't ready to leave yet. In the future, it'll be important for nobles and royals to have knowledge of the world, he explained. He called out to Sister Lily for more water. She nodded as she went to the jar, which empty, and told them she's going to refill it. Yuno stood up, saying he'll do it, but she told him to relax. As she began to head out, Salim gave her his robe. It's chilly at night, he said, putting around her as she thanked him. Nash called him a gentleman. Oh, it was nothing, my body simply acted on its own. It's just proper etiquette for a noble. Outside, Sister Lily has refilled the jar and ready to go back inside when her mouth was covered by someone. She dropped the jar as it broke on the ground. Everyone heard it as Eno ran outside to check, then Klaus and Mimosa nodded as they stood to go after him. Everyone else followed to see Yuno standing near the broken jar, as they asked for her whereabouts. Klaus picked up something laying near the scattered pieces and recognized the skull as it was around the neck of one of the bandits. He pointed it out to them, then Salim was shocked, saying, how awful. Wait, maybe they mistook her for me because of my robe, he said as fell on his knees in despair. Aruru ran to Yuno, hugging his leg. Is sister going to be okay, Yuno? She begged. Yuno knelt down to her, saying he'll save her. Father Orsi, Nash and Rixa wanted to go as well, but Yuno stopped them. I need all of you to stay here, I'll be fine on my own, he said, taking his broom. Klaus stopped him. Our mission is to escort Lord Salim. We don't know when the enemy will come after him again, so we must leave at once. Klaus said, bringing up his glasses. Father Orsi couldn't believe it, along with Nash and Rixa. Hey, Four Eyes. Nash called out, insulting, causing Klaus to be annoyed. Mimosa was about to call him the same thing but quickly backtracked. She wanted to go with Yuno to help, but Klaus told her to stay out of it. Yuno, I know you are worried about your sister, but we should leave her to the authorities who have jurisdiction here. We're leaving immediately, he said, activating his steel chariot spell. Let's leave Mimosa, Yuno, and Salim, he ordered as Mimosa nodded sadly, but Yuno didn't budge. I'm not leaving. We must fulfill our mission. Disobeying an order is a crime. Klaus said, even so I'm going to save her. She's important to not only to me but everyone here as well. Yuno said, jumping on his broom. He flew off, making Klaus call out him, but he gotten too far. Yuno flew into forest where he took 3 of the bandits with relative ease. As soon as third one went down, he saw a ball of light in the distance. He walked ahead towards it and he approached the scene of an unconscious Sister Lily with the fire mage bandit next to her. Good boy, stay there. It would be a shame if the sister's pretty face got burnt. Flashback to Yuno's childhood. he and Sister Lily were at Riverside doing laundry. Sister washed and Yuno dried and folded with wind magic. Yuno, it looks you have a talent for magic. If you see someone in need, make sure to help them, promise. Sister Lily advised, smiling. She turned to Asta, who picked a fish out of the water, assuring the same goes for him, but he didn't quite hear her. Back to the present as Yuno stared down the bandit. Now then, Yuno, why don't you hand over your grimoire? Ha, you won't be able to do anything without it, the bandit ordered. What do you plan to do with my grimoire? Yuno asked. Maybe I'll sell it, maybe burn it, but I honestly don't care. Without your grimoire, you'll be useless as a magic knight, the bandit responded sadistically. Is that your plan? Yuno still not fazed, the bandit just smirked back in response. And what if I refuse? Yuno asked. Are you going to? The bandit asked. Yuno took out his grimoire as the bandit told him to hand it over and he'll let him escape with Sister. Yuno bluntly refused. The bandit was in shock. What? Don't. You get it? The sister dash. The bandit turned to Lily as Yuno responded. I won't let you harm her. Are you going to attack me? No matter how you attack dash. I'm not the one who is going to attack. Yuno interrupted when he ducked, revealing Klaus attacking him with steel magic, spiral lance. The bandit was sent back up and down to the ground, knocked out. Klaus called Mimosa as she nodded and walked to Sister Lily. She checked for Sister Lily's pulse and said she's all right. The Yuno sighed in relief. I hope you defeated them all. Klaus said, approaching Yuno's side. There should be one more. Yuno pointed out. Did he flee? Klaus asked, turning to Yuno. Flicking his glasses, he asked Yuno what he would have done if he wasn't here. Yuno was going to answer but changed his response to a question. Why did you come here? Do you think I'm sort of fool? Klaus asked as Yuno looked away. He does, the brat. Klaus thought. He cleared his throat. Listen well, Yuno, our duty as magic knights is to protect the people. Klaus explained as Yuno turned his head to him. I thought it was strange, these men were after you, not Salim. Do you think a noble would want to come to a village like this? Do you think they'd happily eat potatoes? Sorry to say it, but I definitely wouldn't. Klaus walking towards the unconscious bandit. There's no way they'd accidentally take Sister Lily instead of Salim either, besides it was strange for Salim, whom you defeated, to specifically ask you to escort him. Klaus explained when Mimosa walked towards him. That's why I used my plant creation magic, flower of truth, she said as Yuno turned towards her, hitched as she saw the moonlight shining on Yuno and made him look so amazingly handsome to her. She blushed and struggled words. Flashback to the spell being used on Salim. It's your fault I wasn't able to join the Magic Knights, Yuno. Who cares about your stupid four-leaf clover grimoire, DMN it. I'll steal it from you. I'll get my daddy to hurt you, I'll get my revenge. Salim forcefully said, thanks to Mimosa's spell. He coughed up everything. Klaus said, I'm still surprised you found me. Yuno responded. That was also thanks to Mimosa's spell. Klaus pointed out as Yuno's attention was drawn to her. She looked at him for a second, then looked away immediately. My plant creation magic flower guidepost was able to locate you, she said, brushing a strand of her hair behind her ear. I'm fidgeting so much, she thought, embarrassed of herself. Oh, really? Well then, thank you. You helped out a lot, Klaus and Mimosa. Yuno thanked and directed a smile at Mimosa, which she turned her head back to him. Seeing the smile and smoke came from her head. She overheated from his sweet and kind nature. Salim, who was with them and still wrapped up in Mimosa's spell, tried to wiggle and shout his way out, but Klaus told him to shut up. Honestly, revenge. How pathetic. It's only natural that you lost to Yuno. Our honorable Golden Dawn William Vangans chose him, which means he's truly talented. Klaus ranted at Salim, defending Yuno. Yuno was perplexed at Klaus's attitude. Klaus turned Sundra right after. Don't get the wrong idea, I haven't acknowledged you. Yuno and Mimosa smiled as they know he's putting up a front. But I'll overlook your insolence this time since it was all Salim's doing. So what shall we do? Klaus said, then asked. Shall we take him to the royal capital? He asked. No, just leave them. Yuno said, and Klaus asked if he's sure. As long as they don't go near Hage village again. Yuno said, which stunned Salim, and Klaus smiled. Salim and the other bandits were tied and kneeling on the ground in front of the Golden Dawn trio and Sister Lily. Now then, you heard him, you're free to go and don't try something like this again. Klaus warned, but Salim ched in response. Do you understand? Klaus said, raising his voice, you're just a peasant. Salim said, standing up, freeing himself from the ropes. Getting you to drop your guard was all part of my plan. Salim confessed as bandits were surprised. He attempted an attack spell, but Sister Lily stopped him. Water creation magic, Holy Fist of Love, she activated and sent Salim into a tree. Would you stop already? Show some remorse for what you've done, and that goes for all of you as well, she said to Salim, and turned to the bandits with a glare. They turned to her in response with yes ma'am. Klaus smiled as he was impressed with her strength. I almost want to scout Sister Lily for the Magic Knights. Klaus said as Mimosa and Yuno hummed in agreement. We're taking them to the royal capital after all, he said walking towards the bandits. Now where is the other one? Asked Klaus, and the bandits said they don't know. The other bandit was tied up next to the Wizard King, who transformed back in his original state as he disguised himself as one of the bandits. He laid back on top the demon skull. He was impressed with Yuno and thought that William's new recruit is quite something. A communication magic call came in, interrupting his thoughts with a man yelling from the other side. You're too loud, the Wizard King said to him. You need to return at once, your work is piling up, the person shouted. All right, you know it's unhealthy to be irritated all the time, the Wizard King said. Whose fault do you think that is? The man asked in a yell. Back at the church, Father Orsi and the kids were relieved that Sister Lily is okay. Nash and Rixa praised Yuno for saving her. Sister Lily bowed her head, thanking Mimosa and Klaus for their help. Don't mention it, Selim was behind all of this, how unsightly. Klaus said. Father Orsi told them in response, whilst they are still here to enjoy the dishes and he'll make more. Klaus picked up a piece of cooked potato and took a bite. He sipped a cup of water saying it's not bad, as Yuno took a bite saying it's good. Everyone laughed as they enjoyed the dishes. You're not very honest with your feelings, Klaus-san. Mimosa said, laughing. Time passed and the trio were about to leave. Klaus was in magic vehicle and Yuno on his broom. Mimosa, come on, it's getting late, we don't want to be late back to the base. Klaus called out, just a minute. Mimosa responded, turning back to Sister Lily. And I'll make sure it's sent right away, and thanks for the advice, she said, bowing her head. I appreciate it, Mimosa, and don't worry, just take it slow, you're still so young, so you have enough time to prepare yourself. Sister Lily assured. Mimosa nodded as she hugged Sister Lily, then ran to Klaus and Yuno. What were you talking about? Klaus asked, and Mimosa giggled, saying girl talk. The next day the trio were kneeling before their captain, as he told them they were awarded a star by the Wizard King from their mission. Thank you very much, it's an honor. Klaus said in thanks. I never thought I would get one on my first mission. Mimosa chimed in. But I don't feel as if we did enough to earn a star. Klaus said. After bringing in Selim, he confessed everything about the despicable things his father had done, bribes, fraudulent accounts and shady deals. You made quite a catch, it's thanks to you three. William congratulated them. Sir, did you happen to take on this mission because you knew this would happen? Klaus asked, suspicious. We mustn't allow any evil deeds to be done in the Clover Kingdom. William responded with Kluas responding, yes sir, back. Klaus, Yuno and Mimosa, I look forward to your future great deeds. William said, yes sir, the trio responded, bowing their head. Yuno and Mimosa, it appears that the newbies this year are, well, at least slightly competent. Klaus thought. They walked out the room. I'm counting on you three, especially you, Yuno. William said. The trio are walking outside the base. Everything ended well this time, but Yuno, don't ever act on your own again. Klaus cautioned him, with Yuno turning his head away and nodded. Why was there a pause? Yuno, look at me. The trio stopped with Klaus turning around to Yuno and tried to make Yuno look at him, but he turned his head away again. Look me in the eyes and say that you want act on your again. Klaus said, yes sir. Yuno said, Aranai. Hey, Yuno. Klaus called out to him as he walked away after Yuno. Mimosa giggled at their antics. At the Black Bull's base, an almost naked Magna is sitting on the floor after his money and clothes were gambled away. Asta found out that the Golden Dawn got a star for mission. We are humans. Asta's toy spoke. And I thought we were only 100 away, now it's 101. Yami said, laughing at the fact. DMN it, I thought we'd finally caught up to them. Asta said, annoyed, how is that close? We're at -30. Noelle came in saying. We are humans, the toy said as Noelle told it to shut up. I'm not going to lose, they're only ahead by 101, I'll catch up in no time. Just you wait, Golden Dawn. Asta said, determined, as Yami smiled at his tenacity. With the Wizard King in his office, the communication transmission opened. Sir, there's trouble in Anoma Dash. An anomaly has occurred, right? The wizard interrupted. Well, let's have them work on this mission, he said. It's nighttime at the Black Bull's base. Asta is doing push-ups with Magna sitting on his back. He was over 980. Magna, let's fight, right here right now, no holding back. Luck said, smiling. No way, you battle-obsessed freak. Magna denied. Oh come on, let's do it. I'm gonna eat your pudding. Luck said, if you do that I'll dash, Magna was saying when Luck interrupted, getting close to his face. Will you fight me? Luck asked, excited, and Magna denied again. Silver Schnauzer. Noelle said, naming the bird. I think something else would be better. Vanessa said. Let's see. Like, wind. Vanessa suggested, I'll allow you to borrow a single letter from my little sister, the goddess Marie. I'll let take the M, so be grateful. Gauche said, showing the bird a picture of his sister. Make it something cooler, like let's see Magnum fire. Magna cried out, Lamie. Noelle commented. You have not tasted Lady No. Magna huffed, more like you don't, Noelle responded. Gray puffed smoke, thinking of names looks like fun, I thought of one, too. I wonder if they'll ask. I think it's a good name. Gordon whispered. Charmy is eating cake, can I fatten that bird up? He looks really yummy. Charmy asked, absolutely not. Noelle responded. Does he lay eggs? Charmy asked. Definitely Toritaro. Asta suggested, no, it's Silver Schnauzer. Noelle retorted whilst wondering if she can sit on Asta while does push-ups. Asta called the suggested name to the bird, Noelle called it her name and they went back and forth, but the bird had enough pecking Asta's head. You see, he likes my named. Noelle huffed, flicking her hair. She approached the bird as she called it the name she suggested. Magna came in with the name he suggested, Gauche. Vanessa chimed in, but Luck suggested something else. Why not Nero? Luck asked and the bird raised its wing in agreement, surprising everyone. There we go, he approves. Nero means black. Luck said. Noelle was a little annoyed. Just then a spatial portal opened as Captain Yami came out of it. They greeted him, Finral as well. What did they want at the castle? Magna asked, getting off Asta's back onto the couch. If it's a mission, I want to go with everyone, too. Gordon whispered. Is it a mission? Luck asked, punching the air. I have an announcement for you all. Yami said, getting their attention, a new dungeon has been discovered. A dungeon? Are you serious, Captain Yami? Magna asked curiously. Asta was excited and asked what is a dungeon, and Noelle face-palmed. Magna was dumbfounded. Are you serious? You were surprised, and you don't even know what it is. Magna retorted. I just went with the flow. Asta said, shrugging. Talk about predictable. Magna mumbled. Listen up, dungeons are like ancient tombs that contain relics made by the people from back then. Sometimes they have info about powerful ancient magic or super rare magical items, and they're absolutely amazing. Magna explained. Asta got more excited and taken aback by all this information. But you know, the people from back then set insane magical traps in them so that they wouldn't get misused by anyone. They're super dangerous and really fun. Luck pointed out while smiling. Asta's mouth was agape in shock. The Magic Knights always investigate them since they are so dangerous and to make sure that none of the treasures get stolen. Vanessa explained, which Asta nodded understanding. I see, so the Black Bulls are supposed to investigate this newly discovered dungeon. Noelle said, and Yami agreed. Particularly because this dungeon popped out near our enemy's border. Yami said as Asta wondered what enemy. The Diamond Kingdom. Yami pointed and Noelle and Asta perked up in surprise. We need to take care of this mission fast so Diamond's people won't steal anything. Yami explained. By the way, there have been instances in which someone has found a magical item that could change civilization in a dungeon, and someone even learned how to use the ultimate magic there. Asta raised, begging to go. I might be able to use the ultimate magic. Asta begged, you don't have any magic, so that's not happening. Yami retorted. You never know. Asta cried comedically, actually you're going, kid, in fact the wizard chose you himself. Yami said as Asta went wide-eyed. It took a second, but Asta shook in worry as to why the Wizard King picked him for this. Magna put his arm around Asta's shoulder. That's awesome, Asta. Did you bump into the Wizard King somewhere? Magna asked, smirking. Asta shook his head and denied ever meeting the Wizard King. He then smiled with stars in eyes. The Wizard King chose me. I don't why, but, Wizard King, Asta the Unworthy will give his all on this mission. Asta said, excited with stars all around him. Noelle, you're going with him. Yami said, making her turn to him. Everything counts as experience and luck, you're their leader. Yami said. Noelle and Luck turned to each other. I'm leaving those two in your hands. Yami ordered as Luck looks confused. You'll lose your touch if you stay cooped up all the time. Yami advised. Luck cheered in excitement. Asta turned to Noelle, grabbing her hand. Let's do our best, Noelle. Asta said with a smile of excitement. She pulled her hand away slowly and nodded back, blushing, turning her gaze from his. A few Black Bulls took note of that, especially Vanessa was excited because she knows Noelle will need some advice soon. Listen up, make sure you look after the newbies. Yami said, leave it to me. Luck responded, thrilled, but Noelle looked worried. Finral opened a portal to where the dungeon is located, telling to be careful. Asta and Noelle, give it your all. Magna encouraged them and Asta saluted in response. I think I'll go find some cute girls then. Finral said as Gauche stood up to ask to go visit his sister. Yami turned to him with an intense glare. If you're prepared to die. Yami warned, making Ghost drop his picture. The trio walk through waving goodbye as they go on their mission. The trio head down the hill. As they walk decent distance towards the dungeon. They could have dropped us off right in front of the dungeon. Noelle spoke. Luck explained how Finral's magic only works places he's been before. They approach dungeon and are in awe on how it looks from the outside. They arrive at the entrance. Noelle and Asta gulp, nervous about the path ahead. Luck jumps ahead. Asta notices Nero on his head and they finally walk in. Hey Asta, can I hold on to you? I don't want to fall or lose my way. Noelle asked and Asta was happy to oblige. She intertwined her left hand with his right hand and clinged with her right arm. Asta blushed as this was a lot even for him. They walk at a steady pace to not trip and fall over each other. Asta also felt Noelle's chest rubbing against him a few times, which made him tense and nervous. Noelle was a little frightened even though Asta's the one holding the lantern. She feels uneasy. It's okay Noelle, I'm just as nervous as you are, but as long as we stick together we'll be fine. Asta turned his head over to say while smiling. Okay but make sure you protect me, I'm royalty after all. Noelle huffed with a tint of pink in her cheeks as they both laughed together. Luck notices light emitting from a brick in the wall. He approaches it and pushes it in, which opened a huge hole in the wall. They all gasp, surprised at how big the dungeon. Asta has stars in his eyes in amazement. Whoa, this is so cool, what the heck is going on? Asta asked, excited. Looks like the whole place is warped because of magic. Luck said as lightning emitted from him as he sensed something. There's even stronger mana floating around here than outside. Luck pointed out. You're right, I've never been anywhere this full of mana before. Noelle commented. Asta was surprised. Asta, are you saying you can't feel all this mana? She asked. He shook his head in response. So even without mana, you can't sense it, she said, little startled at the fact. Aw man, I want to feel mana too, I also want it. Sai must be nice being a royal, you guys have the most mana and I don't have any, not even a drop of mana. Asta complained, clenching his fist. Asta It wasn't anything negative towards specifically to you Noelle, I'm happy you have a ton of magic, this way you can increase your mana capacity and usage, which increases your strength. Asta said happily. Thank you Asta, but you can become stronger as well, with your ability to erase magic you'll be threat to even the strongest of royals. Noelle commented. She's right, and when you get stronger you'll have to fight me. Luck said, laughing. Well, I guess that's fair, thanks Noelle and Luck. Asta responded as he turned around. He stepped on a trap. Huge chunk of rock magic came from it and Noelle immediately noted it was trap magic. Asta regains his footing, then drew his sword, slicing and erasing the magic. Asta, be careful please, there's lots of trap magic laid around us. Noelle warned. He laughed nervously, rubbing the back of head. Noelle pinched his cheek lightly and they both smiled at each other. She didn't know why, but she felt more confident around Asta. Here it is Asta. Luck called out to him and two separated, quick, blushing as they embarrassed almost being caught like that. Luck pointed at the trap symbol and Asta got closer to take a look when Luck pushed him, making him stumble on the trap, activating it. More rock magic came from it and Asta erased it. He turned to Luck, annoyed with his actions. That was amazing. Luck said, clapping. No, it wasn't. Noelle retorted, annoyed as well. Although there's another one right there. Noelle said, pointing to it, and Luck jumped on it, which set it off. A fire tornado came out from it, but Asta sliced it away, then Luck activated another, which led Asta to cutting it. And another one. Luck said, jumped on another one and was laughing, enjoying himself. Asta erases it with his sword as Luck landed. That was fun, isn't it exciting you guys? This guy is gonna get us killed. They thought as took panicked breaths. Luck takes a look at Asta's sword. Your anti-magic weapon is amazing, I wonder if that's why the Wizard King chose you. Luck praised. I'd love to fight you for real in 2 or 3 years. If you're prepared to keep swinging around like that, then this dungeon won't be a problem. You got it. Luck. Asta responded. Now then. Luck announced as he turned around, began to sense and pick out something inside the dungeon. Whilst Luck is sensing, Asta turned his head to Noelle, who was staring at Luck. The light really brightens up Noelle's face. She's beautiful. Wait, what am I saying? That the only woman for me is Sister Lily. But for some reason I can't take my eyes off Noelle. He thought, blushing. I knew it, there are others here and the strongest looking one is. Luck thought as he smiled sadistically. Lightning creation magic, holy lightning boots. He activated his spell as he leapt. Something important just came up, so I'm leaving the dungeon exploration to you guys. He said, dashing away. Wait, where or why dash? What in the world is he thinking? Noelle cried out. She turned her head to see Asta staring at her. Asta, Asta. Noelle shouted, bringing him out of his daze. He looked away after being caught and Noelle raised a brow in confusion. What happened to him? He then noticed Luck was gone and asked Noelle where he went. He just left because something came up according to him, she explained, face palming, and Asta replied with an, "Oh. Well then no use staying here, let's go." Asta said as she nodded. "Captain Yami tells him to keep an eye on us and he just left, unbelievable." Noelle said, voicing her frustrations. "Don't worry Noelle, it's gonna be alright." Asta tried to assure her but she pinched him, pouting. "You look cute when you do that," he said as Noelle blushed extremely, dropping his cheek, then huffed. "Besides, no matter what kind of traps might spring up, I'll slice through them with my sword." "How you can be so carefree in times like this?" she asked. "This is nothing and I'm going to become the Wizard King after all, and you're gonna be the strongest mage to ever live," he smiled at her, saying. "Well, that's true, I guess I can't complain, really we were bound to go on dangerous missions like this," she smiled back, saying. "Yep, and after this mission I'll be a step ahead of Yuno. You mentioned him before, what is he to you?" "He's a childhood friend, who's also an orphan like me, and we grew up in Hage village." "Really?" "Yeah, we also took the Magic Knight's entrance exam together and he got into the Golden Dawn." "Whoa, really, that's great, he got there without being a noble." "Yeah, he's great also Noelle, sorry if I'm intruding, but you have so much magical power, immense potential, and your royalty, how comes you didn't end up there?" I wasn't good enough." She lied, looking away from his gaze, and Asta knew that and saw the look on her face. He knew it must be personal. "Well, whatever the reason, they made a mistake not choosing you," Asta assured, and Noelle looked stunned then smiled. "As for Yuno, I'm not gonna lose to him." Noelle giggled. "Well, if that's the case then I'll get stronger and in the future, you might be fighting me for the Wizard King title," she said, half joking. "Well, I look forward to it because I won't fall behind." "Well, let's hurry, so we could catch up to Luck," Asta said, walking ahead, and Noelle followed swiftly after. "Wait a second, it's just me and Asta alone now." "Well, not quite, Nero is here as well, but..." Noelle thought, completely zoning out the dungeon. "I wonder why he was staring at me like that." Noelle stepped on a trap and it wrapped her limbs in some vines, binding her. "Noelle!" Asta cried out as she tried to cut the vines, but a magic plant creature appeared. It was trying to swallow Noelle whole, but Asta saved her by slicing at the monster. Noelle was free. "You okay, Noelle?" he asked. "I'm fine, but Asta, look out," she warned, but it was too late. His arm wrapped in vines along with his other arm and legs. "Hold on," she assured, trying to reach her grimoire, but the vines wrapped her wrist, stopping her. She wrapped up again and they panicked. Just then wind magic shards began an assault on the creature, and freed them of its vines. Noelle landed and somehow managed to catch Asta the best she can, bridal style. They looked at each other and smiled, then she put him down. Now their attention was drawn to where that barrage of attacks came from. Such powerful and precise magic, but who could it be? Wind was flowing all around them as they looked to see a black-haired guy with a golden dawn robe. He had a smile on his face, staring at Asta. "Now, I've repaid my debt, Asta." "Hey there, Yuno," Asta responded with smile to his friend. He jumped down and Klaus and Mimosa appeared behind him. "So he's the guy Asta was talking about." "Well, he wasn't about him being great, that he has more mana than most nobles," Noelle analyzed. She then saw an orange-haired girl behind Yuno and recognized her immediately. "Yuno, why did you bother saving them?" Klaus asked. "Our mission is to explore the dungeon, in other words to reach the treasure chamber buried below, and we don't have time to waste on fools." "You know who is the four-eyed guy and what's his deal?" Asta asked. Klaus was not happy with this insult. "How dare you? I am a noblesman, you do not address me in such a manner." "Well, you might be a noble, but I have royalty on my side," Asta said, pointing at Noelle, who flicked her hair in response. Klaus looked at her, recognized the House Silva hair color. "Good day, Noelle," Mimosa said, greeting her. Noelle turned to her with a fake smile. "I don't think I've seen you since the royal banquet last year," Mimosa said. Asta approached Noelle's side. "You know this girl?" Yes, somewhat. I'm Noelle's cousin," Mimosa revealed. "You're here too, huh?" Noelle said with her eyebrow twitching annoyance. "I've heard the Black Bulls are a very barbaric squad. Have you been faring well?" "Yes, in fact I'm making great progress there. What about you?" "Huh? I'm sure someone as dense as you can make it into the Golden Dawn." "Oh, yes, everyone is so kind. In fact, I even have feelings for someone." "Wait, what?" "And because of that, I've been able to use my magic without hesitation." Mimosa giggled while saying, "Wait, who I dash? If I remember correctly, you weren't able to control your magic at all. Have you improved?" Mimosa interrupted. "Of course she has. I mean, you should have seen her at our village mission. She put up a powerful barrier over all the villagers against the enemies." Asta chimed in. "She's as rude as ever, and really Asta." Noelle thought, looked away blushing. "Oh really? Well, I'm glad to hear that, and the three of us just received a star from our mission by the Wizard King." Noelle and Asta both chuckled. "We Got a star as well, they said together. You liars. Klaus responded, putting his finger in Asta's face. Asta was surprised but slapped his hand away. Newbies from the Black Bulls wouldn't be awarded so easily. We did get 1 4 eyes, this puts us at -30. Asta said. Klaus ignored the insult. It's laughable to think you've been assigned the same mission as well. The Wizard King assigned us to this mission himself. Asta responded. Yeah, and if he didn't we wouldn't be here. Noelle jumped in, frustrated now. While the three were arguing, Mimosa tugged on Yuno's sleeve. Yuno is that boy you were telling me about? Mimosa asked, looking at him. Yes, we grew up in Hage together, and speaking of Hage, what were you talking to Sister Lily about? Yuno responded. Oh, some tato recipes for to me try out. Mimosa said nervously. Then why was your face red and giddy when we got back to base? He leaned down at her. Because the list of tato recipes looked amazing. She put her hands up in defense. Well, if that's the case, you wouldn't cooking some for me, right? Yuno asking with a little smile. That's if you want me to. She said, now pouting at him, knowing what he's doing. Well then, I'll hold you to it, he said, putting her hand on her shoulder. You dummy. Mimosa mumbled. He turned to the trio argument, leaving Mimosa a blushing mess. To think that you third member is not here with you too, this shows why this squad is disgrace to Magic Knights. Klaus said. Asta's fist clenched and Noelle felt like one of her veins would pop any second now. Listen you JRK, we're the ones that's gonna conquer this dungeon in the name of the Black Bulls. Asta responded. Yeah, just you wait. Klaus, Cloth KL- Noelle mispronounced, it's Klaus. And by the way, your captain of the Goober squad has a weird mask. Asta said. Goober, weird, how dare you mock Captain Vengeance? What, he has a weird mask while my captain's manly and awesome? How dare you to talk to a noble like that, and not to mention your senior? Once again I have royalty on my side. The two were in yelling match. Yuno was Aranai, Noelle was laughing along Mimosa. The two caught the breath from shouting. Very well then, we'll show you the difference between the top of the Magic Knights and the bottom, Mimosa. Klaus called out. She nodded. Plant creation magic, magic flower guidepost. A construct of the dungeon appeared as Noelle and Asta gasped in shock at the control of her magic. I've learned the basis of the dungeon. She said. Well done, now Yuno. Yuno picked them with his wind as they flew off. He can carry all three of them. Talk about control. I wish I had his control. Noelle commented, amazed. You do, Noelle, don't let that bring you down. Besides, we have mission to finish and goals to achieve, right? Asta said, extending his hand to her. She hesitated but took it. You'll have to teach me how to find a positive in an obvious negative someday, she said as she felt warm holding his hands. Well then, let today be our first lesson. Noelle and Asta are standing back to back facing some magic slime creatures. This lesson of his is really working. I'm becoming more confident in abilities little by little. Noelle thought, pointing her wand at a group of them and blasted them away. You're doing great, see, it wasn't so bad. Asta responded. Yeah, my water ball attacks are hitting their mark somewhat now. That's great, the more we encounter the more precise and stronger you'll become. How did you gain all this wisdom in fighting, Asta? I've been fighting an uphill battle since the day I was born, plus I have no magic, which means I'll have to work 10 times as hard. Someone didn't teach you? Well yeah, before I entered the entrance exams, I met this old guy and he taught me how to use my sword better and more accurately in combat, and his clothes always got destroyed for some reason. Noelle cringed at that. Hopefully when we get back to the base, you can help with me with my magic. I'd love to, Noelle. Asta said with stars in his eyes. Noelle blushed. Relax, Noelle, he didn't say I love you. Noelle thought, putting her hand on her chest. Anyway, we need to clear every path we come across properly in order to get to the dungeon. Asta said, bring Noelle out her thoughts. Well, let's hurry and don't get strayed and lost in this dungeon. Noelle warned as they ran ahead. I won't, besides I have you with me, plus you can pinpoint a specific magic output, right? Well, sort of. My sensory abilities aren't refined as luck, but I'll manage because I'm royalty. Of course you are, he smiled, saying. Nero flew off Asta's head, getting their attention as she flew to a pathway and pointed her wing at it. With the golden dawn, the nerve of that brat, who is her anyway? And the more appalling part is I couldn't sense not even a drop of magic from him. Klaus said. You're right. Mimosa said. What was the Black Bulls thinking taking someone like Dash? Hey Klaus, do not underestimate him, he's stronger than he looks. Yuno interrupted. They'll do well enough to even get out of here alive. I'm trying to conquer this place as fast as possible for the country's sake. Klaus responded. Noelle and Asta are in a room where the gravity is distorted and the room is upside down. This place's gravity is messed up. Noelle commented. Are you sure we're going the right way? Asta asked Nero, who was back on his head. Asta noticed a treasure chest with legs running across the room. Hey Noelle, look, it's treasure. She turned to see it. Asta, that's not treasure. He ran towards while upward down. Asta, wait, it could be a trap. I got it, he said, grabbing the treasure chest. I wonder what's inside, he asked as Noelle approached it as well. I told you to wait, it could be a trap. Well, nothing's happened so. He responded, opening the chest, revealing it to have organs. Noelle and Asta looked like they going to puke. I told you not to open it, Dorksta, she said, pinching both his cheeks. Dorksta? Where that name come from? From me, and I'm going to call you that every time you do something dumb like this. Oh come on Noelle, I'm sorry, he whined, make a puppy dog face. Don't Noelle me, Just wait next time, okay, she said, dropping him, blushing. Okay, I'll try. He said, rubbing the back of his neck. We're almost there, once we get through this tunnel it'll be straight ahead. Mimosa said as they approached a light. They entered and found a door. They landed in front of it. That's all there is to a dungeon, pretty easy. Klaus said, flicking his glasses. Yeah, and it seems none of the black bulls are here yet. Mimosa responded, looking around. Yuno turned around, it seems so. Of course, there's no way they would beat us here. Klaus responded with a humph. In dungeons, there's jewelry, items, and all sorts of things here. Maybe I can get a couple things for Yuno and myself. Mimosa thought, wondering what could she give him. Yuno saw something coming straight at Mimosa. He immediately grabbed her by the waist and, using Towering Tornado, protected her and himself from the incoming attack. Why Yuno WH-? An attack from behind, coward, don't you have any shame? Klaus asked as he turned to the figure approaching. An attack from behind, but how come I couldn't sense it? Mimosa asked herself as she turned her to the figure as well. She blushed when she realized how Yuno was holding her by the waist closely to him and her hands were on his chest. Yuno looked serious at the figure approaching. Who are you? Klaus asked, demanding an answer. Those who stand in my way will be crushed, the man said, showing himself. The man approaches the trio on diamond-like magic path as the trio prepare themselves for his attack. I'm sorry you guys, I should have been more alert. Mimosa apologized, sinking her head into Yuno's chest. It's alright, you did nothing wrong, besides that BSTRD gonna pay for that. Yuno smiled as he said, looking down at her, then at the guy. Mimosa blushed as he let go her. That look on his face always gets to me, she thought as she feels more confident. Don't think unnecessary things, Mimosa, right now, just focus on the enemy in front of us. Klaus said. Klaus notices a badge on the man's robe. That crest, is he one of the invading mages from the Diamond Kingdom? Now once again, do you have any shame in attacking someone from behind? Klaus asked angrily, pointing at the man. I don't what you're talking about, the Diamond Mage responded as Klaus ched at the answer. You're all the same, just pebbles by the wayside, the mage said, launching diamond spikes at Mimosa. Yuno shattered them with his wind. Hey, don't you dare attack Mimosa again. Yuno said in a calm anger. Mimosa was shocked as she never heard Yuno this said before. The expression might be calm, but his tone is malicious. Let's go, Yuno. Klaus said as Yuno nodded. You diamond scum, I'll show you the true power of the Golden Dawn. With Asta and Noelle, they're running down a dark pathway. Alright, this path is a cinch to go down. Asta said as Noelle sensed the mana was getting denser. Is the treasure chamber really this way? Noelle asked, then she abruptly stopped. Asta noticed this and he stopped as well. Hey, what's wrong, you feel something? This magic, it's luck and he's fighting someone. Really? Yeah, but it seems to be decreasing. I guess the enemy really invaded after all. Then let's go help him out. Wait, maybe we should leave this fight to luck, she said as Asta hesitated. If the enemy is here, they must be after the treasure chamber as well, so it's best we head there as quickly as possible, she explained as she remembered what Yami said about the diamond mages. We need to take of the mission fast so diamond's people won't steal anything. And at this rate the Golden Dawn will be ahead of us. Asta weighed this in as he thinks of everyone at the church and grit his teeth in frustration. Yuno, Klaus and Mimosa were fending off the diamond mages' attacks, Klaus with steel lances, Yuno with his wind, and Mimosa backed them up by destroying stray attacks from hitting them. He's using powerful magic without a grimoire, not only that his magic doesn't seem to be decreasing at all. DMN it if this goes on. Yuno and Mimosa head to the treasure chamber. I'll stay and fight him. Klaus ordered. Mimosa and Yuno were surprised. Sir Klaus, we can't do that. Mimosa responded. Yeah, he's strong, if you fight him without support you won dash. Just hurry up and go. Klaus cried out. To be frank, I'd rather not leave this to a peasant like you, but this is for our kingdom, now fulfill your duty. Yuno stared at him for a second, then grabbed Mimosa's hand and ran to the door. Why, Yuno, we can't leave Klaus behind, she said, worried. That's right, you fool. Klaus said as he watched them run off. Just then diamond crystals trapped Klaus's foot, then a wave of them headed straight for Klaus. At the same time Lotus was about to finish off Luck. "I'll set you free," Lotus said as he is about to land the finishing blow. When the swing of a sword sliced through the smoke, causing Lotus to stop his attack. And wind shards were launched at the wave of diamond spikes, destroying the attack, and vines wrapped about Klaus's foot, freeing it from the hold. "You know we're family, right?" Kid Asta said, getting his attention. "But we're more connected than people than who are connected by blood. Looks like we got more lively ones," Lotus commented as Asta and Noelle stood before him readying themselves. "With Yuno, why did y'all come back?" Klaus asked in annoyance. "And who are you kids?" Lotus asked. "I'm Noelle Silva, a magic knight of the Black Bulls, and I'm his comrade," Noelle answered in determination. "And I'm. We don't have any blood relatives, but all the friends we've made. The mission is more important here, remember," Klaus said. "And all the friends we're gonna make, let's treat them like family." "I'm sorry Sir Klaus, but we can't do that," Mimosa said as Klaus ched. "And why not?" Klaus asked, getting more agitated. "Because we're friends," Yuno and Mimosa shouted together. "His friend?" Asta shouted, readying his sword. Yuno stared down the diamond mage. "Mimosa, you ready?" "Ready as you are, I'll back you up, and if you're in need of healing I'll be there," Mimosa said, standing beside Yuno. "Thanks. Why did you come back?" "Go to the chamber, it's for the sake of the Clover Kingdom," Klaus asked, furious. "We'll defeat him and go together, Klaus," Yuno responded. "Yuno is right, we'll never leave a comrade behind like that. Just because you're our senior doesn't mean you can do everything by yourself," Mimosa explained. "You're facing us now, old man," Asta said. "Yeah, so you better prepare because you're fighting royalty now," Noelle chimed in. "Oh dear, having your friend show up is definitely not in my favor," Lotus said as Luck is having flashbacks to his childhood. Luck is at his mother's grave crying while smiling. The locals in the back talked about his mom and felt sorry for him. But they found it strange that his mother just died and he's still smiling. Luck spoke, and Noelle turned to him. "He's my prey. I'm going to win and keep offering those victories to my mom," Luck thought, still having a creepy smile on his face. He ran past them at Lotus. "I'll take care of him myself. I don't need any friends, just my power, otherwise my mom won't accept me." "Hey, don't rush in, Aloe Dash. Have it your way," Asta interrupted. "Asta, we can't just dash." Asta looked at her with a finger on his lips to signal shush her. "I have a plan," Asta whispered as Noelle raised a brow in curiosity. "Luck attacks Lotus, who dodges his charge. Guess I shouldn't be holding back anymore," Lotus said, firing a smoke attack at Luck. Luck dodged it as he leapt into the air. I need to make my mom accept me," he said, diving at Lotus, who dodged again. "Or I'll be alone." As smoke came at him, Luck wasn't fast enough, but Asta saved him by slicing the smoke. "You can do whatever you want, Luck, but we'll do whatever we want," Asta said. Asta charged at Lotus, swinging at him multiple times, but Lotus dodged all his swings. Lotus sent smoke at Asta, who slashed through it all. "You won't get anywhere swinging like that," Lotus said, smug. "Heh, luckily I have someone to cover me," Asta responded, smiling as Lotus hummed in confusion. Noelle from afar had a fully charged water ball and fired it at the distracted Lotus, who looked stunned as he was caught off guard. "Take that," she cried out as her attack drove him into the wall with a loud crash. "Way to go, Noelle, that was awesome," Asta praised with starry eyes. Noelle blushed from the praise and flicked her hair. "That's an attack from royalty," with a huff. "You look cute when you do that. Is that your signature celebration?" Asta asked, smiling as rested his sword on his shoulder. Yeah, I guess so," Noelle responded, trying hard not to hug him out of joy, but her cheeks betrayed her. "Well, it's cute." She hit his shoulder. "Stop that," she said, blushing extremely now. Asta laughed as Luck watched them as they bonded, as he began to wonder should he trust them as his friends after all. Asta turned to Luck. "Oh yeah, Luck, I've already acknowledged you as not only my friend but our friend," Noelle finished. Luck looked at them as he had sincere smile. "Maybe I'm not alone after all. I'm sorry, Mom, but now I have people that I trust to rely on." "Thanks, you guys," Luck said, smiling, and the duo smiled in return. Rocks were heard from the hole in the wall falling as an injured Lotus came out floating with his smoke. The trio were surprised that he could get up from that. "You really are royalty. That attack would have put me out of commission if I didn't surround myself with my smoke," Lotus said, holding his torso in pain. "Well then, let's finish this together, guys," Luck said as Asta and Noelle nodded in agreement. "This is bad. I'm outmatched by these rookies. One is extremely and agile with lightning magic, that one has the ability to erase my magic, and she's a royal with tons of magic. Well, only thing left to do," Lotus thought as he activated smoke creation magic. "Bustlin' lazy car. Retreat," Lotus yelled as he flew off. "Hey, get back here!" Asta yelled as he prepared to go after him. Wait, Asta, remember what we're here for. Noelle reminded him. Oh, you're right, let's hurry. Let's wrap this mission up. Luck said. Yeah. Noelle and Asta yelled as they ran off. Mimosa, you might want to step back, I'm gonna get serious now. Yuno said as Klaus looked in shock as Yuno's magic was swelling. Wind creation magic, swift white hawk and wind blade shower. Yuno activated. Mimosa and Klaus were amazed that he could activate 2 spells at once. His power. He's been hiding all this power all along. Klaus thought as he felt being pushed back by Yuno's magic. Yuno's so cool and handsome. Mimosa thought as she's lost in the moment. It'll be the golden dawn that reaches the treasure chamber first. Yuno said, launching his attacks at the diamond mage. The black bulls are making their way to the treasure chamber. I wanted to finish off that guy back there, but I'll try next time. Luck said. That's no time to be thinking about that. Noelle retorted. Yeah, and for some reason he didn't seem like a bad person. Asta commented. How are you so sure? He just tried to kill Luck back there. Yeah, I know, but for some reason something tells me that he isn't. Well, we'll figure out that later. Luck, are we getting closer? Yep, I'm sensing 3 magical forces facing an even stronger one, but 2 of them are losing magic. That must be Mimosa and Yuno, we gotta hurry. Noelle said. Don't worry Yuno, we're coming. Asta said as they ran faster. Yuno is breathing heavily after battling the diamond mage for a little while now. Mimosa is worried because she can only do the little things to help Yuno. Diamond mage prepares a giant sword to hit Yuno with. Mimosa takes notices. I can't stop something like that, we need KL dash, she thinks, turning to Klaus, who is gritting his teeth in frustration. Sir Klaus. Mimosa mumbles in confusion of his reaction. Such ominous magic, Yuno's at full power and even he stands no chance. The stones embedded in his forehead, I've heard of them before. There's a rumor that the Diamond Kingdom is raising mage warriors with artificially enhanced magic. They choose young children with powerful magical abilities and put them against each other. The winner gets embed magical items that amplify their powers into their bodies, and we're facing one of those survivors. Klaus explained in his thoughts. Klaus grows more annoyed with these circumstances when Mimosa shouts out to him. He turns to her in surprise. Sir Klaus, Yuno needs help, he can't do this alone. Klaus becomes agitated with himself. Not only are the rookies putting up a better fight, but one of them is literally scolding him for his incompetent behavior. I've had enough of this, he yells, standing up. Steel creation magic, fierce spiral lance. Klaus activated, launching it at the diamond mage. Yuno tells him to wait, but it's too late. It hits it mark, leaving a cloud of smoke and debris in its wake. The diamond mage blocks it with a mineral clone. The trio are shocked by this and the clone charges at Klaus with a punch. Klaus blocks it with a steel shield. Yuno calls out to him, but Mimosa warns him of the incoming attack at him. Mimosa shoots at Yuno to pull him back. Thanks Mimosa. No problem, now go. Right. Yuno nodded as he charged at the diamond mage. He dodges the mineral swords, but one of them manages to hit him, driving him into a wall. Yuno spits out blood from this. Why Yuno? Mimosa cries out in shock and worry. The sword is continuously driving Yuno into the wall, but Yuno is preventing it from injuring him more with his wind. He pushes it back, getting out of harm's way, and launches a wind attack at the mage. He fires more wind slashing attacks, hitting its mark, but it does nothing to the mage. Yuno lands down on his knees, fatigued. Mimosa runs at Yuno. Yuno, I'm coming to heal you. No, stay back. Yuno shouted, making her stop. Don't worry. About me, I can. Still fight. Yuno said, smiling on between breaths. Yuno dodges another mineral sword about to strike him down. He flies up as he dodges the incoming sword and attacks with a wind-slashing attack at the mage, who stands his ground. Stop this futile fight, the mage tells Yuno, who attacks again with another wind attack. Like I said, it's futile. Yuno. Mimosa mumbles, worried. Yuno weighs in the mage's words as he remembers his training with Asta. Let's stop this training, Asta, kid, Yuno says. Not yet, kid, Asta shouts. I'm not quitting until I hit you, he says, standing up, picking up the stick. Asta runs at Yuno but gets pushed back easily by Yuno's wind. Asta gets up again. I said until I hit you, I'm not gonna quit. Yuno takes a breath and launches another attack at the mage, who blocks it. It's futile, PE dash. Shut up. Yuno retorts. Not impressed, the mage tells Yuno to move. I won't move. The mage raises his mineral sword to strike Yuno down. Give up. Never. Yuno responds, determined, as the mage sends down the sword. Mimosa sends her vines at Yuno to save him, but a mineral clone cuts off their path. Yuno tries to destroy it with a wind attack, but it does nothing. Why Yuno? Someone, anyone please save him. Mimosa cries out. I won't get there in time. Klaus says, fighting off the mineral clone. When Asta comes in for the save, slicing the mineral sword in two, then Luck and Noelle launch a combined water and lightning attack at the mage. He barely blocks it but is sent back a little bit. Mimosa and Klaus could only watch in awe. Hey, you with the pale skin, keep your hands off this guy, he's my rival? Asta cries out, pointing his sword at the mage. Mimosa sighed in relief, thank goodness, as Luck kicked away the mineral clone in her way. She ran to Yuno's side, let me heal you now, okay? Yuno nodded as Asta spoke up, I finally catch up with you, and now look. When I thought I repaid my debt to you, you come back and give another one. Yuno said, smirking. Humph, before you arrived I had him right where I wanted him. Liar, you're all beat up and was about to be killed. I was just about unleash a counterattack. Mimosa was giggling at their argument but she was upset with Yuno. She pinched him, which he winced at. You dummy, stop worrying me like that. I'm sorry Mimosa, I'll make it up to you after this mission, okay? Mimosa blushed and pouted, you better, and it will take more than a lunch break. Alright, Yuno responded, smiling back. Yeah, you heard her, for now I'll hold him off until you're back at full strength. Asta said, smiling at Yuno, and he smiled back. Don't you mean we, Asta? Noelle said, approaching him. Oh yeah, do you have enough magic left to continue fighting? Asta asked. Of course I do, you idiot, the attack I did back there was just enough to incapacitate, not to kill. Well then, back me up whichever you can, he said, raising his elbow as she elbow bumped him back. During all this, the Diamond Mage was having flashbacks to his childhood. What's going on? We the Golden Dawn didn't stand a chance against his magic, and yet. Klaus thought, looking at Asta. That peasant from the Black Bull's dash. The mineral clone was about to attack Klaus when Luck kicked it away. Klaus took notice of Luck and recognized that he was the one who beat his opponent half to death at the entrance exams. This was the other member of the Black Bulls that was here? Klaus thought as he began to hold his head, disbelief. He can't believe he got saved by the Black Bulls. Alright, I'm done, Yuno. Mimosa notified him. They stood up, thank you, about me. You know. Making it up to you. He struggled as hid his blush behind his hand, and Mimosa smiled at his side of him. We'll figure it out afterwards. He nodded. Noelle took notice of their relationship and wondered if he was the guy she was talking about. She then looked at Asta and thought how close they are, just like Mimosa and Yuno. It's still new to her, but it seems Yuno and Mimosa are making better progress than she and Asta. Yuno then stood side by side with Asta. I'll take him down first. No, it's gonna be me. Asta said with determined smirk. Noelle looked at Mimosa. Mimosa, are you okay? She asked, noticing Mimosa's magic was dropping. Yeah, I am, thanks for the concern, Noelle. Alright, you and I will help Asta and Yuno in any way we can. Alright, she said as Mimosa nodded. Hey, we're your opponents now. Asta told the mage. So what? It'll be the same result, the mage responded. The weak will perish and only the strong will remain, he said, creating many mineral clones. He summoned so many at once. Klaus said as Luck cheered in excitement. There is a reason for the weak to stand on the battlefield. I was born to break people like you, the mage said. Is that so? Asta spoke as he dashed at the mage, approaching his side, swinging his sword at him, but he substituted himself with a clone. Then try it. I intend to, as the mage was in the air with a mineral sword ready. He sent it down to Asta, who jumped at it, sliced it in two. He landed on one of the pieces in the air and the mage attempted to trap, but Asta broke it with his sword. He jumped at the mage, swinging his sword into his stomach, sending him flying into the ceiling. Asta landed on the ground, as pieces of debris were falling, and Noelle and Yuno both fired respective attacks at the debris, getting it out of Asta's way. The mage dived at Asta with mineral-enhanced fist, but Asta smiled at this and swung his sword at him, clashing with it. It broke through and destroyed his armor, sending flying across the dungeon into the water. Everyone was amazed at how strong he is, and Luck took the opportunity to attack the mineral clones. Yuno destroyed some of the clones along with Mimosa and Noelle. Klaus grit his teeth in anger. How could a peasant that I can't feel a shred of mana from do all of this? Noelle noticed the distracted Klaus was about to be attacked by the mineral clone and destroyed it. Hey, would you stop daydreaming and whining? Asta's ability is to negate magic, she said as Klaus was shocked. How can he have a power so unfit for a peasant? Perhaps he got luck and ended up with this power. I've seen it for myself and I can assure you it's not luck. He trains and works harder than anyone. So Mr. Noble, if you thinks it's luck, just watch him. Asta raised its sword, pointing at the grimoire floating over the water. Hey, come on, I know you're not done yet. Asta shouted. A bright light emitted from the grimoire as a wave of mineral shot towards Asta. Not phased, Asta sliced it in half, but more mineral formed inside and were about to hit Asta. Everyone besides Noelle were shocked, but Asta smiled. He was engulfed by the attack. Yuno yelled his name worried and Mimosa looked away in horror of what she might see as a mineral golem came out of the water and released the attack on Asta. No need to worry. Noelle spoke, causing them to look back to her. She was pointing her wand where Asta is as they turned back to see Asta surrounding by a water magic bubble. The diamond mage was shocked as well as Asta started laughing. Water creation magic, sea dragon's nest, a protective spell if I may say. Noelle pointed out as Luck smiled and Klaus was stunned. Don't underestimate the black bulls, they both shouted. Who are you people? The diamond mage shouted as Asta and Noelle both looked at him serious. I'm someone who was born without any magic whatsoever. Asta answered. He doesn't have any magic at all, I guess it really was Lou Dash, Klaus was saying but was interrupted. I'm someone who was looked down upon by her family for not having any control over her magical power. Noelle also answered. Mimosa was shocked that Noelle would reveal that so suddenly and Asta picked up on it but decided to leave it for later. Klaus looked at her in disbelief. I don't get it, she's of House Silva and she can't control her magic. But even so, regardless of what people say, I'm gonna become the Wizard King's strongest mage, the duo said together. Yuno, Mimosa and Luck smiled at their determination while Klaus was in awe of all this. I don't get even with the ability to erase magic and one with tremendous magical power. I in the face of more powerful foe they don't fear them or panic. Klaus thought, clenching his fist. Weighing in their interaction, the diamond mage was here a voice of someone calling out to him. Mars, what do you want to do when you grow up? The voice asked as a female popped into his mind. He grit his teeth. Mineral creation magic, Titan's heavy armor, I'll use this to destroy everything. You won't be destroying anything, the Wizard King protects everyone. The strongest mage makes sure their friends and family are safe. Mars twitched again as he heard the girl speaking to him again. We were born to protect everyone in this country, the girl said smiling. You're in the way, so move you pebbles. Mars shouted at them. Like hell we will, the duo shouted back. Mars sent his right armored Titan's fist at Asta when Noelle called out to Mimosa, who wrapped her vines around Asta, pulling him out of the way. Yuno came with a wind-slashing attack, destroying the arm of the armor. Asta rushed at Mars, who tried to send another armored punch at him with his left, but Luck came in and he kiced it wide. You may look down on us as pebbles, but we're the pebbles that shatter the diamond? Asta yelled as he swung his sword right through Mars' armor, hitting into the ground hard. Asta landed and raised his sword. We're going to the treasure hall in the name of the Clover Kingdom. Klaus now has trapped the unconscious Mars in his steel magic. It's been a few minutes and the group has recovered a bit. Everyone is back at full strength as they now stand before the dungeon. That will do, Klaus said after binding in his spell. Are you fully recovered now, Mimosa? Noelle asked. Yes, and thank you, Noelle, you're amazing in the field of battle. Mimosa responded with small smile. Well, I am royalty after all, flicking her hair. Oh, and the thing about your family, was it really okay to blurt it out like that? Noelle hesitated, then looked at Asta and smirked. Yeah, I'm sure, I've met someone who gives the courage and push to be my true myself. Is it Asta? Noelle blushed. Is it that obvious? The same goes for you, Mimosa, you and Yuno are pretty close as well. Well, yeah, it is, and Yuno. I'm fully set on my feeling, and when we go out to lunch I'm not gonna confess. Confess? As in your feelings? Noelle asked wide-eyed. Mimosa nodded. All the time we spent together since our mission in Hage made me fall for him more and more, so I'm gonna do it at our date. Well, I wish you the best on that. What about you and Asta? I'll figure it out. They then turned to hear Klaus and Asta arguing about something. We were the first ones to arrive, therefore we win the competition, but I guess we can let you enter with us. Klaus said, flicking his glasses. Why are you so arrogant about this, Four Eyes? A thank you for your help would be nice. Asta argued back. Who are you calling Four Eyes? Shrimp anyways, I don't have time argue with you. Who are you calling Shrimp? Asta pointed at him saying as he heard Noelle giggle. Oh come on, not you too, Noelle. I'm sorry, Asta, it was a new insult in the books for you. Noelle retorted. Humph, even your girlfriend is laughing at you. I can't believe royalty fell for you. What you say? Asta retorted as Noelle joined in the argument as they both blushed. They were done arguing as Klaus and Asta tried to figure out a way to get in. Have you figured out something, Four Eyes? No, I haven't as yet, and stop calling me for Four Eyes. Luck stepped up as he placed a hand on the door. You notice something, Luck? Noelle asked. The door is made up of magic, so Asta, use your sword and cut it. Luck said. Oh, okay. Asta nodded, saying as he then cut a triangle into the door. Everyone gasped in awe of the chamber. Asta and Luck ran off to explore. Whoa, there's so much stuff here. Okay, I guess I'll start look for stuff for Yuno. Mimosa creating a huge bag with her plant magic. Mimosa, what's that for? Noelle asked. I'm getting things for Yuno and me. Well, I guess I'll do the same for Asta and me. Noelle responded, creating a water bubble, and started to put things in there. Yuno walked off. If I'm gonna make it up to her, I need to give her something special. Klaus got irritated and ordered to stop touching without permission, as they might be things here worth a DMN country. Loosen up and look around, Four Eyes, Asta said. Yuno picked up a necklace as he noticed a scroll which had magic emitting from it. He put the necklace in his pocket as he walked towards the scroll, picking it up. He opened and saw writings on it, but they disappeared and a bright light engulfed the room as everyone stopped what they were doing to look. The light was gone as Yuno noticed the writings were gone. Klaus and Mimosa walked towards him. What was that just now? Klaus asked. I have no idea. Yuno retorted. Well then, put it back. Klaus said as Yuno put it down and turned to Mimosa. What's in the large bag, Mimosa? Yuno asked as Mimosa turned pink and averted her gaze. It's nothing, I'm taking a couple things as souvenirs. That's all, she stuttered. Yuno smiled. You look really cute and beautiful when you're like this. Mimosa looked at him as she began to overheat. Dummy, she mumbled, walking away, mumbling more things about in the lines of cute, handsome, and more. Yuno smiled at her actions and looked around for more things to give to her. If she has all that, then I need step up my game. Yuno thought, reaching for the necklace in his pocket. Asta was forcefully dragged by the hair by Nero to a wall, which made him confused. I don't get it, it's just a wall, Asta said as Nero started pecking him. Klaus stared at Mars' grimoire, wondering why it looked stitched up compared to Yuno's and Asta's grimoires. Luck stood upon a hill of coins, then he sensed a familiar magic coming. He didn't have to warn everyone as Mars busted into the room as everyone blocked their faces from the debris and dust. Mars is in his Titan's armor and he immediately traps Yuno, Luck, and Klaus. That's not possible, how could he have recovered so quickly? Klaus mumbled as he noticed Mars as flame magic. Flame recovery, Phoenix robe. Mars activated. Everyone is born with one magical attribute. Mana from the four elements, fire, water, earth, and wind dwells in each mage. Mages can only use magic from their mana or attribute. But he's ignoring that, and not only that, he's an offensive mage with recovery magic, which is rare. It must be the works of the experiments done in the Diamond Kingdom. Klaus thought about all these things, shocked. Mars then looked like he was depressed as he remembered the girl again. Mars going to be a great warrior someday. I'm really sorry, Mars, but this is all I can do. He then looked serious as Noelle pointed her wand at him. I'll put out those flames, Noelle said, charging her water magic attack. Mars heard this and remembered her from earlier. You, he said as he punched Noelle, sending her flying with flood spewing from her torso. Mimosa shouted her name in horror as she hit the ground. Asta saw all this as he couldn't believe. Noelle. Noelle. Asta shouted, worried, as drew his sword, charging at Mars. I'm gonna kill you, Asta shouted ferociously as he charged at Mars. Asta charges at Mars in a fit of rage. You bstrd, how dare you do that to her? I already know how your ability works, Mars says as he prepares mineral creation magic, Harp. Your blades cuts through magical attacks, but if the magic attacks are faster than you struggle, he says, firing a multitude of spinning mineral daggers. Asta slashes through some of the daggers but realized they were too fast. He pushes Asta on defense as he struggles with the number of daggers, then charges towards him, punching him. Asta put up his sword to soften the blow but was sent through the wall behind him. Mars walks towards the hole after Asta, saying the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Mimosa rushes to Noelle's aid and starts to heal her wound. Mars turns and noticed this. We've gotta break free of his magic, Klaus said to Luck and Yuno. The healing process won't be long, so hang on, Noelle. Plant creation magic, princess healing flower robe. Mimosa activated to heal Noelle faster. Please stay with me until I'm done. Kid Mimosa falls down on her face next to Noelle and says ow. Kid Noelle turns to her, offering her a hand to stand up. How can you be clumsy? Noelle says as Mimosa thanks her. Who knew you could use a recovery that powerful? A noble said to her. With your royal magic and talent, you become powerful enough to heal any wound, the other said. But on the other hand, House Silva's second daughter can't even control her magical power, and she's been training every day. How can someone like that be royalty? I guess we Vermilions are the better royals. Mimosa goes outside to see Noelle training, firing water ball all over place. There were holes everywhere besides her target. Noelle is breathing heavily but doesn't give up. If I was in her shoes, I would have given up, Mimosa mumbled sadly. Royals mock hard work because they believe those who aren't born into power do, and not royalty. But I admire your hard work, and seeing you again and how confident you look on the battlefield inspires me to be better, Mimosa says as the Noelle's wound is almost healed. Mars turns to them and heads towards Mimosa and Noelle. Klaus, Luck, and especially Yuno struggled to break free. Yuno remembered Asta's and Noelle's word about protecting those they care about as his magic swells up. Yuno screams as his magic swells up enough for him to break free and steps in front of Mars. You're not going anywhere near them, a wizard king protects everyone, right? Well, I'm going to be the wizard king and protect those I care about. Yuno starts to swell up more as the each others watch in shock. I've beaten you before, Pebble. Mars says, readying a punch. That doesn't matter, you trying to hurt someone I cherish. Yuno says as he stops the punch with his wind. Asta wakes up after being knocked into the wall. What happened? He asks as he gasped, remembering Noelle. He immediately grabs his sword and was ready to head back. DMN it, if I don't get back there, Noelle's gonna. Asta said, thinking the worst. Nero flies in front of him. I don't have time for this, Nero. Noelle is hurt, I gotta go. He flies past him as he was confused. She lands on another sword similar to his big sword. Another one. He thought, walking towards it, and picks it up. He smiles. Thank you, Nero. I now have a way of fighting that guy now. He then heard a loud crash and turned to see Mars flying across the room. Mars catches his footing and charges back Yuno, who's losing stamina. He uses Towering Tornado to surround himself, Mimosa and Noelle protecting them from the daggers and the punch. Yuno, you can't hold out much longer, dash. Mimosa, please. Focus on healing Noelle, don't mind me for now, okay? Just focus. Yuno interrupts. But Yuno, I'm dash. I know you're worried, but please trust me. Yuno. Mimosa mumbles, then turns her head back to Noelle as the wound is pretty much healed. Yuno pushes back Mars and destroys the daggers with multiple slashing wind attacks. He then notices a certain someone behind Mars and smiles. Mars prepares more daggers and fires it towards Yuno, who stands firm. What are doing? Defend yourself. Klaus shouts at Yuno. Die. Mars says as Asta jumps in front and slashes all the daggers. He smiles. Ready, Yuno? Asta asked, smiling. What took you so long? Yuno responds, smirking. I just had to get a little something. Asta says, showing him the sword. Asta turns around to Mimosa and Noelle. Mimosa, is she okay? Yes, she should wake up any minute. Mimosa says as Asta takes a breath in relief. That's great, now I can focus. Asta said, raising his new sword. If we're gonna do this, we'll need you guys as well. Yuno said, destroying the minerals trapping them. Klaus and Luck jump side by side with Yuno and Asta. You guys got a plan? Luck says, smirking. Yeah, and it's gonna require Asta getting close with his anti-magic. Yuno says. Normally I wouldn't listen to a peasant's plan, but since we're in this together, I guess I can let it slide. Klaus says, flicking his glasses. Hey, don't forget. About me. Noelle struggles to get up, saying. Noelle. You should rest, you got dash. She's right, Noelle, you can dash. I said. I'm fine, it's a small wound and so what? I'm not getting up to prove something I've already done, but because I am a magic knight and I will fight for my country. Asta smiles. Alright then, let's do this, you guys. Yeah. Everyone shouts together. I kept thinking Sister Lily was the only for me, but now. I don't know why, but I feel in my heart now, I maybe love Noelle and I don't want to lose her. Asta thought, turning pink, but got more excited for this. It seems your attitude has ran its course on me, Asta. I'll fight by your side not only as your comrade but because I love you. Noelle thought, smiling with her left hand on her heart and the other with her wand ready for the finale. There's no point in battle when faced with absolute power. Mars says as charges at the group. You guys got that right? Yuno says. As long as I get to have a good fight with my friends, nothing matters. Luck says, activating lightning creation magic, thunder god boots and gloves. Klaus stands in front of them. I'll start, steel creation magic, fierce spiral lance. Klaus activates, launching a drill out of the floor towards Mars. Mars blocks with his left titan arm as Luck zips away and tries to kick Mars' face with a smile. Mars reacts in time to throw a punch with other arm at Luck, who blocks it while being sent away. Yuno stops him from flying into a wall with his wind. Asta runs ahead as Mars sends mineral daggers at Asta, who realizes now he is faster with his new sword. He slices away all the daggers and rushes at Mars, is shocked by this and gets sliced in the shoulder. How you like that? Asta yells at him, but Mars punches him away. Asta regains his footing and realizes Mars is trying to heal, but they're prepared. Noelle puts out the flames with a powerful sea dragon's water ball. She falls down one knee after launching the attack. Mimosa runs to her aid. Noelle puts her hand up to signal she's fine. I still have magic left to spare, so don't spare. Mars grits his teeth and runs at them as Yuno quickly approaches him up close. Mars stops abruptly as he's hit with wind magic, White Hawk close range, destroying the front of his armor, exposing his torso. Mars is furious by this, throws a punch at Yuno, who dodges it as Luck laughs, rushing at him. Luck delivers a barrage of lightning punches at Mars' exposed torso while laughing. It hurts Mars severely as he screams in pain but regains his sense as Axe slams Luck into the floor leaving a crater. Luck is driven face first into the floor, Mars going to finish him off but Klaus covers Luck with steel. Mimosa runs to side and pulls Luck away with her vines. I'll stop the bleeding so you could continue. Mimosa says as heals Luck's head. This guy is strong but it makes it more fun. Luck says with a creepy smile. It creeps Mimosa out as she lets out a nervous laugh. He's cute but how can someone be cute and have a creepy smile? Mimosa thinks as she stops the bleeding. Mars breathes heavily as he's damaged and tries to repair his armor. Don't let him repair that armor. Klaus shouts as Asta rushes at Mars. Let's end this guys. Asta say as he holds on the handle of his big sword as it appears out his grimoire a little. Mars sends mineral daggers at Asta who slashes at them but gets through and stabs deep into stomach. Asta, everyone shouts as they saw what happened. Asta coughs up blood but doesn't go on a knee and grits his teeth. It's nothing. You hear me? This is nothing. Asta shouts. A mirage of a devil shows up behind Asta. Mars becomes stunned and shaken by this. What are you? Like I said before, I'm someone born with no magic. But that doesn't stop me from becoming strong enough to become the Wizard King. Everyone in Mars are stunned by his determination and it lights a fire in everyone. I need to kill him now. Mars thought as he rushes to punch Asta but Klaus pushes him up with his steel magic. Mars punches the steel as Asta jumps high raising his big sword. You're wide open. Mars says smirking, sending daggers at Asta. Yuno destroys the daggers and it frustrating Mars as prepares a giant mineral sword. Asta as he free falls towards gets shook because he can't dodge this. Noelle tries to fire water ball to deflect the sword but doesn't have enough magic and still recovering from near death. Luck zips behind Mars Titans and launches lightning magic, thunder blast at the Titan's legs. Mars is swept off his feet into the air. Klaus pushes up with steel magic. It's up to you two now, everyone shouts. I'm counting on you, Yuno. Asta thought as the mineral sword is sent at him. There's got be a strong spell I have left to create an opening for Asta. Please, if there's any time for a new spell, I need it please. Don't tell I have nothing, this can't be dash. Yuno was trying to think of something when time for everyone except stops. He becomes confused and sees what looks like a little girl with wings. Who are you? Yuno asks as the figure yawns and sees the mineral sword and Asta. The figure simply blows breath at the sword and destroys it completely. Yuno is stunned and time resumes for everyone. Asta is confused now, and Yuno calls out to him. Asta, go for it. Yuno yells at him to urge him on. Mars was stunned that his attack is gone and there is no time to activate a recovery spell. Asta smiles determined and nods as he is given a bit more momentum by Luck who zipped behind in the air. Luck? Beat him. Luck simply says. Asta, do it. Asta's smaller sword lights up as he dives at Mars who tries to throw one last punch at Asta. You may be strong but even those who are strong can't beat the combined of those who think they're weak. Asta says, sending a magic slash from his sword. It destroys left side of his armor as Asta puts the small sword back into grimoire and draws the big one. We the magic knights of the Clover Kingdom win. Asta shouts, swinging his sword down on Mars hard. The sword goes through the armor and drives him into the ground with a loud crash. Asta free falls to the floor on his back but is saved as he falls softly onto a bunch of plants created by Mimosa. Noelle breathes a sigh in relief as Yuno smiles at Asta who is passed out. Klaus flicks his glasses impressed as Luck lands on a hill of coins smiling. Everyone looks at each other. We win. Noelle runs to Asta's side to check his condition and finds out he's losing consciousness. Mimosa, get over here quick, heal Asta's wound. Noelle calls out as Mimosa hurries to her. I'll try my best with the amount of magic I have left. Mimosa assures. Yuno, Luck and Klaus come over to see if he's okay. Mars is now out cold, his memories flash to the girl speaking to him. A teary Mars is approached by the girl as she asks if the training is painful. When things get tough, always remember the faces of the people you love. We were born to protect the people we love in this country, she says, giving him a hopeful smile. Once we become strong enough to protect this kingdom, we'll be allowed to go outside. You'll probably be the first, Mars. He turns to her confused. I mean, you're stronger than everyone here. Mars smiles from the compliment. I'll be waiting outside, he says, making her turn to him. Until you get out, Fana, I'll wait. Mars says, smiling at her as she smiled back. Sure, and we'll see the outside world together. It's time for the survival test as someone controlling explains that whoever survives gets to go outside. The test begins and immediately a kid attacks Mars but gets killed instantly by him. The test rages fiercely and brutally as Mars is now faced with Fana. I'm sorry, Mars. Fana. You have to. I have to. So please die. Mars reacts as he covers his face as a mineral pierces Fana's stomach, raising in the air. Mars feels blood land on him as he looks up and immediately goes into a panic attack. He screams in horror at what he has just done. The person announces Mars as the winner as Mars sits next to Fana's body. Tears are still running down his face. The person suggests giving Fana's power to Mars to create the ultimate warrior. Back to the present, Mars remembers Asta and Noelle and how they bonded just like he and Fana. He gets up slowly, everyone stunned by this, and they prepare to fight him again. He directs his glare at the half-awake Asta and Noelle as tear appears in the corner of his eye. Asta's swords go into his grimoire, then the dungeon begins to rumble and crumble. "Oh no, we need to get out of here," Klaus says. Wind creation magic, celestial wind arc. Yuno activates his transport spell. "Let's go everyone!" Yuno shouts. Luck carries Asta on board as Mimosa, Klaus, and Noelle jump on as well. Mimosa was about to heal Asta when remembers her stuff for Yuno. "Yuno, could you pick that plant over there with your wind?" Mimosa asked as Yuno brings over with his wind. Mimosa takes a magic item from it and pours it on Asta's wound. Noelle checks inside her uniform. "I managed to save them." What about that guy?" Asta struggles to ask, directing their attention to him. Mars still hasn't moved from his spot as his head is hung low. "Are you crazy? He almost killed us and your precious comrade," Klaus says, making Asta hesitate. "I know, but..." Yuno tried to save him, but a bunch of rocks landed around Mars. "We can't do it, let's hurry out of here," Klaus shouts. They fly off, but Yuno struggles to find the exit. Luck uses his senses to find a way out. "I'll guide us out, trust me," Luck says as Yuno nodded. On their way, they were impeded by large rocks, but Luck and Klaus destroyed the blocks in their path. Another one came by and without looking Noelle destroyed it. Her attention was locked on Asta as Mimosa used the magic healing item to close the wound. She wasn't going to look anywhere until Asta is fully healed. They destroyed more in their path out as they saw a light. Yuno pushed full speed ahead and they made it out. They cheered as they made it out and landed on the ground with their adrenaline shot and relief high. Lotus is flying away back to their kingdom. Mars is awakened but hasn't spoken. Their ride is filled with money and items which were gathered. Lotus and his assistant Mages. "You okay back there, Mars? You shouldn't wish for death on yourself, like, you're still young and have whole life ahead of you." There was a silence between them after that, but Mars speaks. "Thank you, Lotus, and you have people you cherish, right? What's with the change in attitude? I do, and I love them a lot and I'll do almost anything to make them happy." Mars smiles at his answer. "Well, I do as well, but I'll keep her will alive. You'll tell me about it when we get back. For now, take a nap. You've been through enough." With the magic knights, Asta slowly begins to wake up. He sits up holding his stomach and wincing in pain. "Asta," the group calls out to him. "I guess you're more resilient than I thought." Yuno teases. "What you say? I'll have you know." He gets up to say when he gets hugged. Noelle hugs and leans her head onto his shoulder, crying as Asta is stunned by this. "You had me worried back there, you idiot," Noelle says into his shoulder, sniffing. Asta hugs back, smiling sadly. "I'm sorry, Noelle. You're gonna need time to recover properly." "Asta, my magic was nearly empty, but thanks to a magic item it closed your wound," Mimosa explains. Yuno puts an arm around her shoulder. "Mimosa, I think that's the last thing he wants to hear." Mimosa looks up at him confused and looks back to see Asta wasn't focused on her explanation but on Noelle. Klaus coughs, getting their attention. "As much as I don't want to interrupt the moment between couples, I have to something to say." Noelle pulls away from Asta, smiling as he smiles back, then turns to Klaus. He bows before Asta and Yuno. "I'm sorry." Luck, Noelle and Mimosa gasp. "I'm ashamed I didn't acknowledge you because you were peasants. You are both excellent magic knights of the Clover Kingdom." Yuno and Asta looked at each other and laughed a little. Klaus looks up. "What's so funny?" he asked, embarrassed. "Thank you, Klaus," they both said, looking at him, throwing a fist bump at him. Klaus was confused by the action but smiled and fist bumped them both back. "All right, I guess we'll be heading our separate ways now," Klaus says, flicking his glasses. Klaus creates his steel ride to fly them home. Yuno picks up Mimosa bridal style, making a gasp. Why Yuno, I can walk, put me down," she says, blushing, covering her face. "You're low on magic and can hardly walk, so I'll carry you," Yuno says, smiling. "But not in front of everyone. They can't stop. And your stuff, what's in there?" "It's souvenirs, don't touch until I say." "I won't, and let's go to lunch when we're recovered, okay?" Mimosa blushes and nods as she wraps her arms around his neck. "Okay, we're leaving now, see you next time," Klaus says, flying off. The Black Bull trio wave them off. "Well, we should be on our way too," Luck says as he walks ahead. Asta and Noelle nod as Asta turns to Noelle to see she's kinda exposed. He blushes and puts his robe over hers, making her confused. "Your isk kinda showing." Asta says, looking away blushing. Noelle notices what he meant and smiled. Asta. He turns to her as he felt her lips on his, she then pulls back to see an overheating Asta. WWW. Asta can't get words out. Thank you for being you. It's been a day since their dungeon mission, at the Black Bull's base. Noelle is in Asta's room, sitting on a stool near his bed as she checks on him again after breakfast. Asta is recovering from the dungeon mission and still unconscious with a bandage around his waist. Noelle sighs as she thinks back how much they fought to survive and how hurt they got. She took a devastating attack head-on and felt like she was dying. Asta got beat up and stabbed in the stomach. Luck has a head injury he's recovering from and he is in his room unconscious as well, with Vanessa and Magna checking on him. She grabs the hem of her skirt in frustration. If I was stronger then I could have fought more, she mumbled in frustration. Don't beat yourself up, kid. Yami speaks, hearing her frustration. Captain Yami, she says, looking at him. I know how you feel, thinking if you were better or stronger or maybe on time then you could have prevented injuries or casualties. It comes with this type of job, you signed up for it and times like these will test whether you want to continue or not. So what will you do? I know how much you care about the kid and your comrades, will you stay the way you are or get better? Yami explains. Noelle weighed in his words and looks at Asta as her lips pursed and she stands up. Train me, Captain Yami, I want to get stronger to protect Asta and to continue fighting by his side. She says, determined. Yami smiles, taking a puff in his cigarette. Hey, you remind of someone who's similar to you, she is a close companion of mine and she has the same drive as you. If I'm gonna train you, you'll need someone else to understand the way you feel. Yami says as Noelle raised a brow. Vanessa enters the room smiling. Hey Captain Yami, hi Noelle, have you checked on your boyfriend's condition? She says, smirking. Noelle blushes and looks down. So, what if I am? Ah, young love. Vanessa, perfect timing, you're gonna help me with Noelle's training until the kid wakes up. You wanna get stronger to protect your hubby, that's cute. Vanessa. Noelle shouts in embarrassment. I'll help you no matter what, and if you need advice in your relationship, you can always talk to me. Noelle blushes and nods. Oh Captain Yami, Luck still hasn't woken up yet. That maniac will wake up soon, he's probably dreaming of the best fight of his life. Yami says, laughing. He then turns to Noelle, serious. I'll train you physically, one of the most important aspects is to train your body so it could an increase in your magical power so you won't collapse by overloading your magic. And I'll help with your mana control and accuracy in using it to the best of your ability. You're also royalty, which means we have a lot to work with. Noelle bows her head, thank you very much, I really appreciate it. Yami and Vanessa smile as they walk out. The day has passed as it's nighttime now, at the Golden Dawn base. In Yuno's room, you have to look presentable, you're going out with a vermilion for God's sake. Klaus says while making sure the suit is good on Yuno. Can't we just go out in our normal uniform? Yuno asked, curious. No, this is a date. Mimosa is a beautiful young girl and she looks better than most Clover Royals for her age. Klaus takes one last look at Yuno as he hums in satisfaction. Alright, I think you're ready. Here, take this. Klaus says as he hands Yuno a bouquet of flowers. Why are you doing this for me, Klaus? I'm not doing this for you, I'm doing this for my lovebird rookies. It's a special day for you both, so I'm gonna help make it count. Yuno is wearing a yellow and white suit which fits him nice. Yuno smiles, thank you Klaus. Don't thank me, it's the least I can do for you both are everything we've been through, he responds, flicking his glasses, hiding a smirk. I have a huge debt for this. Of course you do, now come on, let's go wait for Mimosa outside. Yuno nods as he reaches into his pocket for a box. He takes it out and looks at it with a smile, I'll make it count. He walks out with Klaus as they wait for Mimosa. In Mimosa's room, one of the Golden Dawn girls is finishing Mimosa's makeup. I can't believe you got a guy like Yuno. Mimosa, the red-haired girl, said. Yeah, a cute, handsome and genuine guy like him is rare nowadays, another girl said who was sitting on Mimosa's bed. Mimosa giggles, well, I fell in love with him after we visited his village for a mission. And now you two are going on a dinner date, you're so lucky. Yeah, some of the noble and royal guys are so far up there but and not even that attractive. I wouldn't say Latoile, there are some who aren't like them like Klaus. Mimosa says. Yeah, I know, but I'm not sure. Latoile says, folding her arms, sighing. Trust me, he is, you just have to get to know him. Fine, I'll try, but if it doesn't work he just wasn't my type. Latoile says as Mimosa giggles. Alright, it's done Mimosa, you can open your eyes, the girl said. Mimosa opens her eyes and is astounded by well her makeup looks. I decided you didn't need that much since you were already beautiful without it. Mimosa stands up from her and hugs the girl, thank you so much. Don't mention it, I hope I can find a guy like how you did, Yuno. Mimosa pulls back from the hug saying she will. Are you ready, go Mimosa? Latoile asks, standing up. Yeah, let me check to see if I have my gifts for Yuno. Mimosa says, checking her purse. She sees the gifts are inside as she is relieved she didn't forget. Mimosa is wearing a long light green dress that reaches down to her ankles. Okay, I'm ready, let's go. Yuno is waiting outside, nervous with the flowers in hand as he stand in wait next Klaus' steel ride. He hears the door open as he turns slowly to see Mimosa in all her glory. She walks slowly, nervous as well as Yuno freezes as a huge blush creeps on his face. She's so beautiful. The moonlight does her skin wonders and her dress is so elegant. Yuno thinks, staring at her. She walks up to Yuno, nervous about his staring, but sees the blush on his face. She smiles, taking as a sign that he likes it. Yuno, the lady of the hour has arrived. Klaus calls out, bringing Yuno out of his thoughts. Oh, these are for you. Yuno says, handing her the flowers. Thank you, Yuno, she takes as she smells the flowers, they're wonderful. He rubs the back of his head as he blushes. Latoile and the red-haired girl smile at their interaction. I'll be dropping you off at your place for your date. Klaus says, making the couple look at him. Really, Klaus, you don't have to, Yuno could fly us there. Mimosa says. I will, as your superior it's the least I could do for you both, after all you are my friends. Mimosa and Yuno thank him as they enter. Have fun, Mimosa and Yuno take care of her. Latoile says as Yuno nods. They fly off to their destination. I've arranged a place and table in the royal capital for you both, and there's a photo booth in there, so if you want memories, make sure you take in every moment. Klaus explains. He then hands a communication device to Yuno. And when you are done, I'll come pick you up. Thank you, Klaus, you're the best. Mimosa thanks him as Klaus rolls in the praise. Mimosa and Yuno then look at each other as they held hands, then they became magnets and their lips came together. Klaus noticed this and smiled. You two should save that after your confessions. They pull away, blushing and looking away from each other, but the smile never left their face. 6 days have flew by. Asta finally wakes up after being out cold for so long. As he wakes up, he sees the sun is starting to rise as he blocks the rays which were blinding to him. He's about to get when he sees someone in pajamas sleeping near his bedside. He rubs his eyes and sees it's Noelle on stool, leaned over onto his bed. He smiles as he takes a closer look at her. Her hair is not in her normal hairstyle, but it falls down her back. Her bangs falling a little bit to side. Noelle's really beautiful. How does she keep her skin so smooth and soft? He sees she has little bags under eyes and can tell she probably needs a few more hours of sleep. He gets off the bed slowly to not wake her up. He then gently picks her up and lays her on her side to sleep better. He then takes the sheets and covers her. He then leans down to look at her face. He sees a little smile on her face. He then leans over to her and gives her a light kiss on the forehead. Sleep tight, thank you for looking after me while I was out. I'll repay, I promise, he whispers, leaning back up and standing straight. He then looks out the window as he smiles. I'm very lucky to have you by my side. He looks down to see the bandage and he only has trousers on. He takes a vest and puts it on. I guess I'll do a little light training to get the day going. He goes to door and opens it, but before leaving, he turns around to look at Noelle one more time. He blushes as heart starts to beat faster. I'll get going now. He leaves, closing the door in his wake. Noelle's smile grows bigger as shifts a bit as she continues to sleep. Hours have passed as it's time to have breakfast. Everyone except Yami is at the table eating. Asta comes down the stairs fully dressed in his normal attire with Nero on his head and arrives at the table. Vanessa waves and greets him as he greets her back. You're finally awake, him, huh, she says. Finally? What do you mean? Kiddo, you were out for a week. Asta was shocked that it had been that long. He then looks down as he remembers Noelle bags this morning. I must have worried her a lot, huh? Asta thinks sadly. Don't look so down, you won't alone in your recovery. In fact, Luck woke up yesterday, she says as Luck smiles. Yeah, I'm fine now and ready for more fights. He said, punching the air. You should relax still before picking fights again, pal. Magna chimes in. Well, that's good. What about Noelle? How was she doing? Asta asked, worried. Vanessa gives him a small smile as she knows how much those have grew attached to each other. She was fine, but she was worried about you. She checked on you every day when she could and spent hours in your room. She was beating herself up for not being able to help you more in your mission, so she wanted to become stronger. Vanessa explained. Asta's eyes widened. Really, Noelle did that for me? He asks as Vanessa nodded. Yes, she trained constantly every day since you were in recovery. She's made great progress in ability now. Finral says. Asta smiles. That's great. I can't wait to find out how much she's learned. Asta says, now excited. Who is she you're planning find out about? Noelle asks, entering the room in her normal attire and hairstyle. Oh, Noelle, you're up, huh? I left you in my room last I check. Asta says as everyone gasped. Noelle blushes. Oh yeah, I realized when I got up and I was on your bed and you were gone, she pouts saying the last part. I left you because you deserved it, for looking after me while I was out. Thank you, Noelle. Asta says, smiling big at her. She blushes at that smile that always made her heart flutter all over the place. By the way, you look really beautiful when your hair is down. Asta says, rubbing the back of his head, blushing. Thank you, I'm glad you like it. I can put it down just for you if you want, but only when we're here, she says, fidgeting with her fingers. That'll be nice. Everyone enjoys their star rookies interaction as they smile. They're finally together. Well, now you go, the rest you guys needed, you're back at full strength again. Magna says. Well, yeah, that's true, it has been a week. Noelle responds. Enough of this, my darling sister Marie wouldn't appreciate listening to all this, talk about something more interesting. Gauche speaks as he has a nosebleed. Asta and Noelle cringe at him. Sister complex again, they both thought. I have 3,214 stories stocked up for her. When exactly do you plan to tell her those? Finral asks, cringing as well. Luck turns to Asta and Noelle. Asta, how's your stomach feeling? Has the wound closed up? Luck asks. Can you fight me now? Luck asks, excited. Well, it's not closed up completely, in fact my stomach feels empty, I'm starving. Asta says, sitting down. And you can't risk reopening that injury, it took a lot and effort from Mimosa to heal it. Noelle warns as she sits down next to him. Oh yeah, I gotta thank her when I see her next time. Charmy walks over with her sheep holding huge plates as she calls everyone. No, breakfast is ready. The plates are placed and Asta immediately digs in. He eats so much and fast, he starts to feel like he's choking. Noelle hands him water as he takes it, thanking her. Asta, please slow down when you eat, you're gonna choke. Sorry, Noelle, he says, laughing as she sighs as she starts eating. Let him eat, he needs the nutrients. Hey Asta, want a taste? Vanessa as she picks up her wine bottle. No, he will not. Noelle responded. Asta eats more as Charmy cheers him and the sheep dance proudly. Just then Yami kicks down a door, entering the dining area. I'll have some breakfast and head back to bed. Yami says. Everyone greets him morning as he sits down. Looks like you're finally awake, kid, you didn't die after all. Yami says. Yes sir, and it's thanks to Noelle and those on the mission with us. Asta responds as Noelle turns away to hide her blush. Well, good workout you two there, even you Asta always come back banged up. Yami says, then laughing. Thank you sir, the couple responds. Oh, and the Magic Knight headquarters want a report on your dungeon mission, so if you two are able to walk, pay them a visit. The couple hum in confusion. Luck gets excited hearing the sound of that. Luck, you're not going, you'll cause unnecessary trouble we don't need. Yami says to him. Luck sighs in disappointment. Instead, I'll send you on a battle mission with Magna. Luck pumps again. Let's do our best, Magna. Ha, are you Luck or Gray in disguise because you're acting different? Maybe it's your head injury. Magna says. Charmy suggests she should go. I wonder what yummy awaits me in the noble realm. Yami denies her and she lays in response. Well, that's settled, we should head out, Asta. Noelle says, getting up. Wait, can you do me a favor for the day? Asta stands up as well, but he's blushing. What is it? Noelle asks, curious. Asta rubs the back of his head and laughs nervously, and Noelle squints her eyes, suspicious. Could you? At the Clover Kingdom Royal Kingdom, the couple have arrived as Noelle checks herself in the window of a shop. Asta is amazed at how the royal capital looks. This is so awesome, it's so huge up close, stars in his eyes. Noelle, are you seeing this? Asta turns to look for her when he sees she's checking her look in the window. Noelle eeks when Asta approaches her. Don't worry, Noelle, it looks great on you. Why did want me to do this? I thought it looked good on you. You don't like it? He asks, nervous. And no, yes I do, but it just can we talk about it later? Noelle says as she looks away from his gaze. Okay, but if anything is bothering, let me know, okay? Asta says, nervous he might have upset her. She nods as they walk ahead, as they stay close to each other. They want to hold hands but are too nervous to do it. As they continue walking, they see three familiar people. Hey you guys! Asta shouts out to them with a wave as the three turn around. Oh, it's you, Asta. It's been a week. Are you here to give report as well? Klaus asks, approaching him. Yeah, we sure are. Have your wounds healed up? Yep, my stomach hurt a bit this morning, but now I'm fine thanks to a lot of sleep and eating. Are you a kid or something? Yuno says, Aranai, as Mimosa giggles. Asta retorts, saying he's the same age as him. Oh yeah, Mimosa, thank you a lot. If it wasn't for you I would probably be dead now. You're welcome, Asta. Oh, and who's that next to you? Mimosa says, then asks, pointing at the person. Oh, this is Noelle, he says as the Golden Dawn trio are stunned. Wow, really, you're really pretty, Noelle, you kinda look like Dash. Can we talk, Mimosa? Noelle interrupts. Yeah, sure. Mimosa nods as they walk away from the boys. They got a good distance away, so how've you been this past week? Mimosa asks. It's been fine, but I took the time while Asta was out to train. Really, so have I. Yuno's been helping me along the way as week. Speaking of him, did you confess to him? Yep, we even went on a date and we gave each other gifts. Mimosa says, smiling. What were they? Mimosa shows Noelle a necklace with the letters Y and M attached to it. Wow, that looks pretty neat and expensive. It didn't cost that much for jeweler to carve the letter for us. So Yuno has the same necklace? Yep, and we gave each other promise rings, and I gave Yuno something else to add to his arsenal when he fights. Wow, you did a lot this past week. Noelle says, hanging her head. Did something happen between you and Asta? Mimosa asks, worried. Not anything bad. I trained hard this week to better myself to protect him, which was worth it. But, Mimosa adds, knowing there's more. It's just this hairdo. Noelle says. Oh, the ponytail. Your mother, right? Mimosa asks sadly, as she knows how much this topic hurts Noelle. I like it, but I don't want to make Asta feel it's his fault. I feel kinda down by it. We both like it, but it brings back harsh memories. Well, you should talk to him before he starts blaming himself. Yeah, thank you, Mimosa. They hug each other, leaving the boys confused who are waiting for them. With the boys who are waiting for them, hey, you know what's up with the new sword? Asta asks. Mimosa gave it to me on our way back from our date. Yuno says. Well, you two went on a date, how was it? It was great. I found out more about her and I appreciate her more and more each day. Well, look, she brings a different side of you, huh? Well, that I guess you're right. Anyways, what about you and Noelle? We're together, but I haven't done anything for her, like a date or anything. Asta says, holding his head. When do you plan on doing it? Soon, I hope, because she deserves it. She's done a lot for me and I'll definitely repay her. Asta pumping his fist. Well, good luck on that. She seemed a bit down just then. Why's that? Yuno asks as Asta head hung down. Yeah, did something happen? Klaus asked, worried. No, I don't know, but ever since we arrived here she's down because of her new look. Did she not like it? Klaus asked. She did, but I hear her mumble something about her mom when looked at her reflection. Well, maybe it's the hair-do reminds her of her mom. It's not your fault, Asta. I hope not. I wouldn't want to upset if I knew it give her bad memories. Maybe. Well, when you two get the time, talk to each other to figure this out. Thank you, Klaus. You're a great friend. Of course I am. Klaus says, flicking his glasses as Yuno and Asta smiled. The Magic Knights arrive at headquarters. Mimosa, Yuno and Noelle noticed Klaus and Asta are getting along better. The two talking until Klaus abruptly stopped and kneeled. Why, Your Majesty, I didn't expect to welcome us yourself. Klaus says as Mimosa and Noelle kneel as well. Asta and Yuno blink in confusion as they ask, who's the old guy? You fools, that's the current Wizard King Julius Navacrona. Klaus shouted. Asta and Yuno immediately kneel. This guy is the present Wizard King, they both thought, surprised. Hey there, young people, come in, I've been expecting you. Julius waves as he turns, gesturing for them to follow him. Julius is reading Yuno's grimoire. Well done in collecting this. This magic was the important relic in the dungeon. Julius says. You can read that, sir? Yuno asks, surprised. A bit. This is great. Julius says with stars in his eyes. So the rumors were true in that the Wizard King was a huge magic nerd. Klaus thought. Hey, you wouldn't mind showing it to me? Julius asks, approaching him. I'm sorry, sir, it activated once in the dungeon, but since then I haven't been able to use. Julius was sad. That's a shame, bummer. I did get this sword from my girlfriend, it's compatible with my wind magic. Yuno said, showing him the sword. Mimosa blushes from the sound of that as Julius' stars came back. I assume it's you, Mimosa Vermilion? Julius asks. Why, yes, sir. Mimosa responds, blushing. Julius smiles. Sylph, the wind spirit of the four great attributes, has chosen him for this era, and to know that these two are together regardless of their rank is incredible. Well, that's all I can say for now. With this you'll be able to grow extremely powerful, so train and work hard. Julius handing him back the grimoire. Yes, sir. Asta approaches Julius with his grimoire. Wizard King, sir, my grimoire has weird scribbles in it too. Julius leans to look at it. This is, he says as Asta grows in anticipation. Something I can't read and never seen in documents. Julius as Asta huss in response. Noelle laughs at his reaction. Asta pouts as then he pulls out his new sword. Well, this pops out to sir. Oh, a second anti-magic sword. Asta laughs in victory as he turns to Yuno, who is Aranai. Looks like I got mine to work. Can I hold it? Julius asks, excited with stars in his eyes. Yes, sir. Asta responds, handing him the sword. Julius takes it as it drops down as he struggles to hold it. Whoa, it's so heavy. Are you okay, sir? I'm surprised you can swing this around. Julius says as he realizes something. Julius feels the sword is draining his magic, I see. Julius hands him back his sword. Thank you for showing me this, here. Asta takes back his sword. It seems you can wield this sword because you have no magic. How did you know I have no magic, sir? And what about my sword that cuts through magic? That is a good question, you all did splendid work out there, good job. Oh sir, what about Noelle? She was on the mission as well. Asta as Noelle is now nervous as Julius looks at her. Oh right, Noelle Silva, correct? Yes sir. I've heard you've done great things so far ever since you've joined the Black Bulls. Yes sir, I discovered more spells to help in battle and I've gotten stronger. I could tell a huge difference from your start to now, you've definitely grown stronger. Thank you sir, I'll continue to work harder. Good, I'm sure your mother would be proud if she saw you now. Julius as everyone is shocked. Why you knew my mom sir? Noelle asked shaking a bit. Aesir Silva was a great and powerful noble magic knight, she was a proud and noble person who cared about those around, it was very sad when she died. Tears began forming in Noelle's eyes, others should aspire to be just like her and I'm sure you'll surpass her one day. Noelle bows her as tears rolled down her face, everyone else shocked by this and felt for her, especially Asta and Yuno. He and Yuno never met their moms before so they kinda understand what she's going through. Thank you sir, I'll make her proud and become the strongest mage possible to protect those I care about, she says straightening herself as she looks determined. Julius and everyone smiles, I'm sure you will. Wizard King sir, can I ask you something? Asta asks. Sure, what is it? How do I become the Wizard King? Yuno and Asta asks. Julius laughs then says, I see, so you two want to become Wizard King, huh? Every magic knight should have that aspiration. You two, it is rude to ask the wizard such a question, the wizard must have a noble heart and the trust of the people No Klaus. It's merit and Noelle that goes for your goal as well, you can't protect the people with pride, and that trust comes from merit. There is only one thing the people want from the Wizard King, merit to prove you're the strongest. Gain merit and earn your trust to get to the top because you will never get there without that. Julius explains. Asta and Yuno smile, bring it on. Well, I have a goal as well. Mimosa says as everyone looks at her. What is that, Mimosa? Julius asked. With training and mastery over plant magic, I'll be to heal any injury someday, so I plan to work hard every day so I won't fall behind. You absolutely correct, Mimosa, and I know for sure you'll, from what I've observed and heard from your captain, you'll be greatest healing mage in Clover Kingdom. Thank you, sir. William, Yami, your rookies have very bright future ahead of them. Julius thought.
Okay, sadly the chapter is over. And if you enjoyed the video, just leave a like and subscribe with post notification. So when the next chapter is ready, you will be notified. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.